And now, let's go to the ring. And here's your co-host. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing okay. What's going on with you? Hey, it's summertime, isn't it, already?
I can't believe it. It's finally here. Here we are, knee deep in June. You got big summer plans, Tony?
No, none. Well, work. Got a couple of things coming up. Obviously, you know about StarCast coming up, and
that's going to be fun.
That's going to be fun. And I'm going to, what else I got coming up? Florida SuperCon is coming up in July. I got my, I just got it the other day, 46th high school reunion coming up.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Yeah. I don't know if I want to be associated with a bunch of old fucks or not, but I'll be there.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
You're one of them.
That's what I'm told.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I do want to say this, that, and we've never talked about it, but, you know, recently when we were in Las Vegas and then Los Angeles and then Ontario, I went to, and I didn't even know this place existed. I went to Republic de Lucha.
Oh, how about that? That was a cool experience, huh?
Amazing. What a store they have.
Yeah.
It's in Pasadena. I went there with a bunch of our wrestlers, a bunch of friends, me and Rebel. But it was more than just me and Rebel. It was a lot of us. It really was. Lance Archer was there, and Powerhouse Hobbs, and Aubrey Edwards. Oh my gosh. Miro, just a bunch of us. So we went there because there was a comedy show with Ryan and Nick Nemeth.
I like them Ziggler boys.
Yes. I met Dolph for the first time ever, and it was really, really cool. And there was a bunch of comedians. All the comedians there were like big wrestling fans, and it was a cool experience. It really was.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that. So I just
How good is Dolph, by the way?
Oh man, one of the greats, one of the talents, man. As a stand-up comedian and as a wrestler. So and Ryan, man, wow, he was really funny. I was thinking that, you know, I'm not so sure. I know his brother is a good stand-up comedian. I'm not so sure that Ryan's going to be good. I didn't know what to expect, put it that way, and it was really, really good, really good. So,
well, I'm glad to hear it, and we hope that today's episode is really, really good. We're going to be watching Great American Bash from 1997. I love talking about all things 1997, one of my favorite, most important years in the history of professional wrestling. And today we're going to get it kicked off, Tony, with Great American Bash from 1997.
Wow.
And it's always been kind of interesting to see how they rate the or how they file away these pay-per-views on Peacock. This is season 9, episode 1.
Yeah.
So if you're watching along with us at home, we want you to go to season 9, episode 1. And Tony, I'm fired up on my end. I think you've got a little bit of a countdown for us.
I've got a little bit of a countdown, and let's go to Steph Chesney right now.
You know it's all about your money. Holy shit, I hate me. You know it's all about your money. Let me tell you something, little skinny motherfucker. I will beat your ass, plus I will beat your ass in video games. I know that you're freaking lying. How's it gonna feel to go back to Connecticut and tell the fuckers that an old 63-year-old man beat your ass?
America, the land of the free, home of the brave, and the site of WCW's Great American Bash. The American worker is the backbone of our country. Diamond Dallas Page has realized the American dream through his dedication and determination to his sport. His vigilance and hard work has thrust him into the spotlight, gaining the attention of the NWO and the Macho Man Randy Savage. He finds himself in a continuing struggle as another chapter unfolds in Savage Page 2 at WCW's Great American Bash.
Great American Bash is on the air. You are looking live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Morning of the Choir. Welcome to Moline, Illinois. The summertime is officially underway on this Father's Day 1997, where tonight, the most bitter feud, the most bitter battle in the history of WCW will be settled, where a capacity crowd is on hand for tonight's action. And hi, everyone. Tony Schiavone.
Yeah, there you are, Tony Schiavone. So we see Dusty wearing that
Red.
patented leather jacket, not a patent leather, but you know what I mean. That's a trademark of his for most WCW pay-per-views. Dusted it off here, and look at the collar choices by you and Bobby Heenan. That was kind of the style back then, was it not?
Yeah, I remember I didn't the first time I wore that a collarless shirt. I remember Bischoff said to me, "Hey, thanks for finally getting with the program," as if I was kind of behind on the.
Well, in hindsight, they look stupid.
No, I thought they were cool.
Yeah, they were 25 years ago, but nobody's wearing them now.
That's right, and I'm not wearing them now.
No.
Right, Heenan. I really. I think I've mentioned this before. I probably had more fun with this team than any other team I've had. It's because we just had a lot of laughs. You know, obviously Bobby was very funny. And
The show was not well received, by the way.
Wow.
31.9% thumbs up, 40.6% thumbs down, 27.5% thumbs in the middle.
That's kind
Most folks believe the best match was Ultimo Dragon versus Psychosis. The only other match to even get any votes is DDP versus Randy Savage. And this is kind of interesting that I think this is DDP's first main event.
You're probably right. And here's going to be the best match right off the get-go, so to speak. It's odd that it was not well received, but it was kind of like in the middle, right? It was kind of.
Yeah, I think it's a whatever show.
Yeah. But it's funny because last week we just watched the Great American Bash 96 and they loved that one.
Yes.
So now a year later, we're into this NWO stuff and the fans voting online or Meltzer's crew.
Well, let's just mention that you don't have all the tippy top stars. Ultimo Dragon and Psychosis are going to get a 3.5 or 3 3/4 star affair here. Harlem Heat and Rick Steiner and Scott Steiner. So two of my favorite tag teams. They're going to get a 1.5 stars.
Yeah.
Conan's going to be in there with Hugh Morris, Glacier with Wrath, Akira Hokuto and Madusa, Chris Benoit and Ming, Kevin Greene and Steve McMichael.
Yeah.
Kevin Nash and Scott Hall against Ric Flair and Roddy Piper. And then in the main event, Randy Savage and DDP. It's a 9-show card, but there's no Sting. There's no Lex Luger. There's no Hulk Hogan. We don't have all the firepower, but boy, what a way to start the show. Just like we did Nitro all these years. Ultimo Dragon and Psychosis, man, this is going to be a good match.
Yeah. They're going to tear it up as always. But again, Hogan's not on a pay-per-view of ours.
Yeah.
He wasn't on he wasn't on the last Great American Bash we did. And in 96. So, but also, and we'll stop, Sonny, stop talking to the camera.
Why do you hate talking to the camera so much?
Well, because it's just like everybody does it. It's overdone. And you know what? It's like, we're in the middle of talking, so you're not going to hear what they say normally.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, look at those Sting fans in the front in those shirts. My God.
He's over, baby.
Yeah, he is.
And what's great is at this point, he hasn't spoken all year.
Yeah, this is right into the crow shit right now, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
What if you
Which
just called it the crow shit? We're in that crow shit.
he's wearing that crow shit, which has become his moniker, which has become his trademark now.
I just hope you talk about that like that backstage. Like, Sting, what do you think of tonight? More of that crow shit? Taking some more crow shit, Mr. Borden?
I should say that to him. I really should.
It would get over, by the way.
Yeah,
Say it in front of Taz.
he's he's hey, has Taz ever made an appearance for us?
On our show?
Well, like, live.
No.
He doesn't do stuff like that, does he?
No.
I was talking to him.
If it's fun, he
Yeah.
wants no part of it.
I was when we were in Las Vegas. I looked up online, and there was a Tommy Bahama store.
Oh, and you took him? Please tell me you took him.
No. I went because he likes Tommy Bahama wear too. He does. He likes the shoes, and all that. And so I was wearing these brand new shoes. He said, "Hey, where'd you get those?" I said, "There's a Tommy Bahama store down near Treasure Island, right on the Strip." And I said, "You ought to go there." He went, "No, I get my stuff online. I don't go in stores and shop." I went, "Okay." So he doesn't go in stores and shop. So he's very much a kind of a hermit in many ways. I asked him, I said, would you ever consider inviting me to your house? And he said, no. I said, you got this nice, small, but a very nice cigar shack that he built in the back of his
I
house.
love it. It looks so awesome.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of it, but you can't go to it.
No, we're not allowed.
No, we're not. You can see pictures of it, and wow, how about that? That was a hell of a move. I like that. Guy goes to leapfrog and he just cold cocks him.
Meltzer would say the storyline for this match was a battle of respect. The idea was that one wanted to beat the other by submission. It started slower than you'd think, with Psychosis doing a lot of American heel tricks and going away from the lucha style. Dragon was over much bigger as a face than you'd think, with fans popping huge for many of his spots, particularly his kicks and a move where he basically did a spinning torture rack and drop. So lots of big stuff here. Meltzer really, really dug it, gave it 3 3/4. I always used to love when he would do this.
Yeah, that's like holding someone up for the suplex.
Look at the crowd.
Yeah.
Ultimo Dragon's over right here, man.
Yeah. There's another thing too. This is Moline, right?
Yep. Mark of the Quad.
Quad Cities, whatever. But we don't go there that much, and we don't have a big pay-per-view though, so the fans could be hot for it.
The show has 9,613 fans. 8,538 of them paid a gate of 142 grand, 118 bucks, which would have broken the arena's attendance record set back in the early 60s. About 500 tickets shy of a legitimate sellout, and it sold $66,000 in merchandise. And 66 does sound down, but again, no Hogan, no Sting.
Exactly.
Meltzer would say this: that Nothing Happened to Tony Schiavone opened the show, describing it as if it were the 13th consecutive year that the Great American Bash has been broadcast, quote unquote, to your home. Actually, it was the 8th, not that Schiavone could be bothered to get his facts straight. The first Bash pay-per-view was in 1988, although there were Great American Bash house shows, starting with the Charlotte Baseball Stadium, July 6, 1985, where Flair and Akira drew 27,000 fans. Both 86 and 87, there were Bash summer tours of arenas, and the first Bash pay-per-view was headlined by Flair and Luger in 88. However, there was no Great American Bash by that name, as it was dropped by WCW in 93 or 94, stemming from debacles of shows under that name in 91, which is among the worst pay-per-view shows ever, in 92. So the name was brought back in 95. By the way, that paragraph says a lot about Mr. Meltzer.
Why is that?
I don't know, but
yeah,
why is it worth so many words?
Yeah,
about you saying it's just
right. Well, let me also say this, that about getting his facts straight.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Charlotte Baseball Stadium, if he would bother to get his facts straight. The Charlotte Baseball Stadium was Crockett Park, which had burned down. And that was the Charlotte Football Stadium, is where the Great American Bash was. So obviously he didn't bother to get his facts straight.
It was a rather uneventful show as far as advancing the storyline, and it got a mixed response. Although it was a good show, mixing up good, bad, and average matches, most of which came across better than they figured to be on paper, with largely strong booking that had a purpose and storylines within the matches. Some of the finishes left something to be desired, and it was an overall very good announcing performance by Tony Schiavone as the host. Though the brain is showing that the brain isn't what it once was, at no point was Dusty Rhodes his stereotypical overbearing personality, and Mike Tenay did a great job in the opener. From an organizational standpoint, it's a night and day difference with Terry Taylor running things as the announcers fed the eventual storylines much better than when they appeared to go out and call the matches with no apparent clue as to what was going on. Not to say that even under these circumstances that Bobby Heenan was all there, although he only made one major faux pas, still not understanding the tap submission rule, which is one of the main things this show was designed to get over. In particular, look at Psychosis here. Top rope, leg drop onto the apron. My goodness. What a special performer. These guys are blowing it up, dude.
Yeah. That was a move kind of ahead of its time.
Oh, big time.
Yeah. You never did see much of that. And now you see,
but you would see Rob Van Dam do it, but at 1 o'clock in the morning on the Sunshine Network.
Right.
Anyway, in particular, after the replay showed Ming tapping for Chris Benoit's crossface, Heenan was still asking if Ming had submitted or if the referee had stopped the match because Ming had passed out. You'd think after not understanding the tap out on Nitro 2 weeks back with the Barbarian that he would have figured it out by now. 3 tap out finishes and only 1 DQ ending, the booking was often solid, and that several undercard matches built up a specific story and paid off on it at the end. However, matches 1, the one we're watching, 4, Glacier and Wrath, and 7 had almost the same finish. The old outside interference backfires, which was a little much for one card. Going off the air without an explanation as to what happened to Ric Flair when he simply disappeared just defied all credibility. And exactly how many referees were knocked down in the DDP Randy Savage match, which was only made worse as Savage was dropping referees. It was looking way too similar to Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels match that took place 7 days earlier. So Meltzer, I don't know, complimentary of you, which is kind of a rare thing. We didn't hear a lot of that,
Yeah.
But it's nice when somebody's nice to you.
Yeah. It's kind of odd but it's, I think the funny thing in that what you were just talking about was, this was after Sonny and obviously and Ultimo Dragon had their split. We've seen that. Look at this. Look at Psychosis, buddy. Psychosis could fly like Dante Martin flies today. Had that hang time when he went up in the air. But it's interesting that Meltzer used the term Terry Taylor.
I knew as soon as I said that, I heard you do a little grunt over there.
Yeah. Stooge.
By the way, Tony, I want to remind you at the end of this match, we're going to take a timeout.
Oh, right. I can't wait.
But
we don't really take a timeout.
Not really. But tell me about this stooging. I love stooge business. I run Stooge Enterprises, LLC over here. New business I'm trying out.
Stooge Enterprises.
LLC. Or Limited Liability Corporation, Tony. Get it right.
Yeah. Well, these guys are really...
As a kid, man, it was one of my favorite moves, dude. That was such a cool thing to see.
Loved it. But right now the fans are kind of spent.
Whose mask did you like better, Ultimo Dragon or Psychosis?
I liked Ultimo Dragons. I like that mask with the shoulder. One big.
I kind of assumed you'd have big plans for Psychosis's horns.
I have no big plans for anything. My life is not full of big plans.
Well, that's not true. You got big plans into July.
Yes, I do.
In front of that old JCP set with your old pal David Crockett.
And I saw you're dusting off Doug Dellinger.
How about that? Head of security, by God. Of course, we'll have Atlas and the whole crew there, but I thought, man, we got to have Doug Dillinger, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like a JCP thing without Doug Dillinger hanging around.
Matt Schiavone sent the link to the Twitter announcement with the text underneath of it. My God, it's like Doug Dellinger's getting an appearance.
I can't tell you, I got more response from the Doug Dillinger announcement than I did when we announced Bryan Danielson. And I was like, you never know what's going to get over and what's going to hit here.
No, you don't.
Because I wouldn't have guessed that.
No, I mean, yes, I wouldn't have guessed it either. It's just
Folks are digging it.
Doug Dellinger, David Crockett, me, Ric Flair,
Arn Anderson. But that weekend, Tully Blanchard's going to be there. Magnum TA is going to be there. Barry Windham, Lex Luger,
right?
JJ Dillon,
right?
It's like what we did last year, celebrating Jim Crockett Promotions every single week here on the program. In hindsight now, feels like it was just getting us ready for this.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Great finish.
That wasn't a finish.
That wasn't a finish. Did he do go 1, 2, 3? Okay.
You're gonna see a tap out when interference backfires, but thanks for listening. So as folks are listening to this, where are you tonight, Tony?
Kansas City. Independence, Missouri. Sound thrilled, don't I?
You're gonna go by Michael's?
Nah, it's a Ric Flair thing.
He don't go there.
Well, he used to all the time.
I think it would be cool if you did.
For what? They don't sell Tommy Bahama.
You could see if they can carry some. Look at this.
If you can anticipate, then you're well prepared. Steiner off the top by Dragon. And the fans are wrapped on that in the Dragon now. Up, and he goes to Sonny and he misses. And that was a critical mistake.
Sure was. Attempt at the Tiger suplex by Dragon, and he was diverted when Ono climbed up on the apron.
Look at it. He's waiting. And a kick off the top. It looked to me as if he was waiting for the man to come off top and then maybe sidestepping, but he couldn't get out of the way at the quickness. Psychosis makes a cover 1, 2, and he.
Can you imagine if we could have you revoice these matches with Excalibur and he could use all the proper names?
That'd be great.
Tope Suicida.
How about
that's it.
They picked their own man.
Got him. That's the Dragon Sleeper.
The Dragon Sleeper's on. Scott Dick.
Look at Sling Blade right there.
Tapped out. He tapped. You're right. He's tapping the man.
That's it. So simple for submission, and he tapped out.
Better than a pin. He got the man to submit. Talk about respect. Now he wants to get his hands on Mr. Ono. Great call, Mike. The right hand tapping the shoulder. He wasn't going out, but when Scott Dickinson saw the tap, he said match is over. And now the Dragon is stalking his former manager. Now let's talk about a little respect. He pulls Psychosis out and the Ultimate Dragon. And I would venture to say what has happened to him over his career. He's been a champion, Mike, one of his biggest wins in WCW today.
Absolutely, Tony. You're right. The man that has at one time held 9 championship belts. Last year, 1996, and this is a win that is really big for the Dragon.
Take it today.
Well, this is the move that bears his own real name, the Acai Moonsault. Pressing Psychosis on the floor. The reversal by Dragon, sending Psychosis into the back hit of his own man, Sonny Ono. There's the tap out. You see it right now. There it is. He's tapping. And that's in any language.
Yeah.
It's understood that the tap out is sufficient.
He was tapping with the left hand at first, and then finally tapped with the right hand where the referee could see him.
Tony, I'm at 20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and take a timeout right now. And I'm doing this because I want to remind you guys, well, this segment of What Happened When is presented by Zen Nicotine Pouches, the simpler way to experience nicotine satisfaction and enjoy lasting change on your terms. Zen nicotine pouches are a fresher, simpler way to enjoy nicotine that has helped millions of people achieve lasting change by offering smoke-free and spit-free satisfaction. Now, I don't know about you, but there have been times in my life where I needed to make a change. For instance, when I turned 40, all of a sudden, well, a lot of stuff changed. And I knew I needed to make a change, but honestly, guys, I just wasn't ready yet. I'm sure a lot of smokers and dippers out there can relate. Well, Zen understands that there isn't just one right time to make a change. Everyone's timeline is a little different. Everyone's on their own journey. So whenever you feel like you're ready to take that first step towards change, Zen will be there for you with the right strength, the right flavor at the right time. If you're thinking about making a change and want to learn more today, check out Zen nicotine pouches at zen.com. That's ZYN.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. And Tony, right now I'm at 20 minutes on the nose. You want to give us a countdown and we'll get this thing going again.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, play.
And the Ultimate Dragon is your winner in the opening bout here at the Great American Bash. And our thanks to Mike today. And of course, Mike will be with us tomorrow night on WCW Monday Nitro.
So coming up next, we've got
let's take you to the backstage area where WCW Wrestling.com is back there. Chris Benoit back there. Let's listen in.
You're going to a return death match tonight with Meng. What are you going to do to try to counteract the Dungeons and Dragons interference? Well,
what's that guy's name?
I have no idea. I was thinking the same thing.
Well, we know it's Chris Benoit on the left.
Right.
We've got two big old chunky laptops hooked up to
thinking the same thing.
A television monitor here, a giant tube where it's showing their screen, and it's got the WCW Wrestling.com. Of course, eventually they would get WCW.com, but there was some cyber squatter that Mike Weber had to negotiate in the suburbs of Atlanta. I think it was a handful of tickets and a box full of t-shirts got it done.
Cyber squatter.
Hey, speaking of squatters, here we go. Two guys who squatted around,
wow,
I don't know, 500 pounds each.
Yeah.
Here comes the Harlem Heat, one of the all-time great tag teams, and a brother tag team. And they're going to be taking on another set of all-time great tag teams and another brother tag team, Rick and Scott Steiner. And I'll be honest, I loved Harlem Heat and thought they were a great act, but the Steiners are just my all-time favorite tag team. And so one of my very good, I had 3 or 4 really good, what I would call wrestling friends in this era. Those kids I went to high school with, and they liked it as much as I did, blah, blah, blah. Well, half of my crew was a couple of African-American boys, and boy, they just loved them some Harlem Heat. And I just loved me some Rick and Scott Steiner. And my buddy Brian said, you know, Conrad, Harlem Heat are our Steiner brothers. And it just clicked in a way that where I hadn't before, because I liked Harlem Heat, but I never really thought of Harlem Heat as being brothers the way I did Rick and Scott Steiner. And I knew they were, but it just, this is part of the Steiner brothers name, right? So
yeah,
I was like, oh, wow, I didn't ever really think about that. But I guess to a whole generation of fans, they felt the exact same way. But I maybe it's just because I had been watching the Steiners longer, you know, through the neon era and the mullet era, and when the Frankensteiner was first a thing. 2 legacy tag teams, though, and although the Steiners were probably a tag team in WCW longer, I think Harlem Heat actually achieved more success as far as title runs and all that.
Yeah, they did. And of course, Booker T went on to a lot of success in the WWE, and the Steiners were in the WWE as well. But I get it. I get it. It's kind of what you grew up on, and what I loved at this time, Sister Sherry. I think Sherry is probably one of the most, maybe, I don't know if I say she's underrated as a female performer, but she's one of the great female performers ever. As a wrestler and as a valet. Everything that Sherry Martel did, she gave it 100%. Everything. And so I really enjoyed her work. And she's also a tragic figure as well, because she had a drug problem, and then she passed away way too soon. I think what we're seeing here with Scott Steiner is the beginning of Big Papa Pump, don't you?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I miss the mullet. and the jackets. I miss all that. That to me was the Steiner brothers. And I know that was the Steiner brothers to you as well. But now with his hair slicked back and he being jacked up even more, you can tell that he's not the Scott Steiner that we remember, but he is pre-Papa Pump, Big Papa Pump.
This is a fun era here for tag team wrestling in WCW. Meltzer would say, about what you'd expect from these teams. Steiners did a lot of suplexes and clotheslines. Booker T did a few cool spots. In between, it was so-so.
Yeah. Oh, man, that just reminded me of something.
Okay.
I'm supposed to call Stevie Ray. Fuck. He came to our show in Houston. Then he said, call me. And I said, I will. And I didn't.
Why don't you call him now? See what he's up to. Put it on the show.
Nah, it's too early. Hell, it's for him.
He's awake. Old guys get up early.
Nah, if I say, hey, you're on our podcast, he'd probably get pissed off.
Not if he called us a fruit booty on the air. Everybody wants to be a fruit booty.
Stevie was a real entertaining color guy. He really was.
No doubt.
Really enjoyed working with him. Fans love this.
Yeah. The dog part running around, barking underneath the whole thing.
Sliding between Scotty's legs. Wow. Good.
When you think about 1997 in WCW, what do you think of first?
I think about Starrcade.
Really?
That finish, yeah.
Huh.
And Hogan Sting finish. That's what I think of. And then second, I think of the Macho Man and Diamond Dallas Page, because that was their big year. And that was also, I think, feud of the year, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. So those are the two.
Big years, right, for sure.
Yeah, those are the two things I think of. And then once we got like up to 99, things started to become a blur then. Doesn't take long, buddy. I mean, like we even said at the beginning of this podcast, all of a sudden here it's June.
Right.
It doesn't take long for the years to go by quickly. Just shoot right on by. So, but yeah, I that Hogan Sting finish just kind of, I don't know, it's deep in my memory. When I think about things, I just think it, obviously.
Obviously what?
Well, obviously it defines to me what was wrong with us as a company. Look at Rick Steiner, man.
I mean, listen, if you had to mess with anybody in the ring or anybody in the match, I would think Rick would probably be the number one guy you wouldn't want to mess with, and then Booker second.
I think if you just go into that building with all these people, including everybody backstage and all the stagehands and the cameramen and the production people and the people who worked in the concession stand, and Rick Steiner would be the last person in that whole building you'd want to fuck with.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's still, I mean, it's an older version of Rick, but he's still as tough as he can be, man. Have you had him at did you ever have him in a StarCast?
Rick Steiner?
Yeah.
He's at StarCast this year.
Is he really?
End of July. He'll be there.
Oh, that's tremendous. I want to spend more time with him. That's great. Nashville, Tennessee, baby. I can't wait. That's
July
going to be a lot of fun.
29th is the roast of Ric Flair. July 30th is the Horseman reunion, and Bryan Danielson on stage, and a whole lot more. And Bret Hart talking about the 30th anniversary of SummerSlam. And then on Sunday, more panels, more meet and greets, and of course, unbelievably, Jim Crockett Promotions one last time for Ric Flair's last match. Who would have thought that would be a sentence?
Yeah. You know what makes me happy about that?
What?
My buddy Jay Lethal.
Oh yeah, Jay Lethal has been announced as he's going to be doing meet and greets, and he's had an opportunity, of course, to help train Rick and warm him up and get him ready. And some of that stuff has gone pretty viral. I got to see Jay this past weekend, and boy, he loves him some Ric Flair, and so excited that he gets to help him get ready.
Jay and Jeff Jones and I went to Warner Brothers Studios and did a tour. And when we were in California, and I have a lot of time for Jay, man.
Such a nice guy.
One of the great kids in the business. I consider him a real good friend. We just so glad I got to meet him, and such a talented guy. We make each other laugh a lot, and I'm so glad he's going to be a part of it. So there you go.
How about the fun Macho Man impressions he's got down pat?
Yep.
I asked him, I said, hey man, hypothetically, if you get there on Friday, Black Machismo wanted to roast Ric Flair. I don't think anybody'd be able to stop him.
Oh God, just talented kid, man. I'm so glad we got him with us. I just he deserves it. He really does.
Isn't it amazing that he's been that talented for that long and never had a run with Vince?
It is.
I'm glad he's with you guys. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's odd to me. Like, I can have great matches. He can cut good promos. He can be funny.
Right.
He can be serious. Just feels like he checks a lot of boxes.
And he's a good trainer of wrestlers too.
Yeah. I actually, I got to go see him and Rick do their thing, and that's at Jay's school.
You're right. He's got a school, and he trains wrestlers, and he has a lot of respect. So yeah, I well, you know what? It's the WWE's loss on that. It really is.
For sure.
Yeah. But you know what? There's a lot of out there. You can't always, I'm not defending them, but you can't always, you don't always hit a home run when you hire people, as obviously they have found out before, and we have found out. You know, not everybody works out.
So while we're watching Harlem Heat do their thing here with the Steiners, and this is ultimately going to, I think, be a DQ finish, just kind of bullshit. But what'd you think of Cody the other night? Did you see Cody with a torn pec still wrestling?
Did not see it. Heard about it, and I thought I wasn't going to watch it live. If I want to watch Cody match, I'll wait till it airs.
Yeah, and
then I'll go back and I'll watch it. But I still want to watch it because I've heard so much about it. I've seen pictures of it. You know, the pec all bloody and everything.
It's fucking unbelievable, dude.
Yeah, and he worked. Right,
it was good.
Yeah, I heard it was great.
I mean, it's one of the more memorable matches I've ever seen, because you know what we fans gravitate to. We talk about this, gosh, all the time, where we say things like, okay, I know this was that, or that was this, or, but now that was real.
Right.
And boy, there was no faking that.
Yeah. That's that's great. That's so great for him to be able to do that. And I think there's a lot of us there, you know, behind the scenes that are happy for him. And just, you know, he's got a beautiful little daughter, and he's doing well for himself.
Yeah, I would say that, you know, there was a lot of doubters, a lot of folks saying, oh, they're going to make him Stardust.
Right.
And I understand, you know, the internet's the internet.
I know. But
at the same time, I'm really happy that Cody gets to say, oh, really? Some of those folks now.
Yeah, you know, and I was one of those that thought, what are they going to do with him? Are they going to make him Stardust? Are they going to make a mockery out of him? But obviously they don't do that anymore. And you know what? I think if anything else, and I don't want to circle this back around and make it about AEW, but
I was going to if you didn't.
Right. I think it shows a little bit of respect for what we do.
Not only that, Tony, I was
What?
going to ask you this exact same thing.
What?
Do you think, don't get me wrong, Cody
Uh-huh.
deserves all the success. Cody's an
Uh-huh.
incredible talent,
Uh-huh.
but it's got to be in the back of Vince's or Bruce's or whoever's mind where it's like, you know what? A lot of guys over there are going to take a look at how we're handling this.
Right.
And if we do a good job with Cody, ...
Right.
I think the rest of that's sort of unspoken, but that does feel logical, doesn't it? Like, I think there'd be a lot of folks who are curious and say, well, we'll take a wait and see approach. Let's see what they do with Cody. Well, now that we've seen, you got to think they assume, well, maybe there'll be some other opportunities. I just think there's a lot of strategy in making sure that he's featured properly. And speaking of featuring, I think we're fixing to get something big off the top rope here. Here.
Somebody's coming. Somebody is. Who is that? Vincent. That's Vincent at ringside. Vincent at ringside. What is he doing there? Look at Scott Steiner. He's beside himself. He didn't want him doing that. He didn't want help. Verdict. What is going on here? Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the match as a result of a disqualification.
So the idea here is the winners were going to get tag shots at the tag titles. And the reality is they just absolutely positively did not want to face the Steiners, they being the outsiders. So well done.
Got it. Did you notice the sign Doug Dellinger fears RF video?
I don't think he does.
I don't think he does either, but I was wondering about that sign. I think we know who RF video is. And I guess Doug Dellinger, here it is. Doug Dellinger fears RF video. I guess he was taking their signs down, or he was preventing them from recording stuff.
One of those, perhaps.
Yeah, right.
Tony, give everybody our time code. Where are you right now?
Okay. I am at 3603, 04, 05. He's pulling down Vincent's shirt over his head. And you want to hit a pause here after this top rope?
Yep. And I'm going to let you tell us the time, and then we're going to take a little break here.
Boom. There it was right there. And we hit pause at 36:28. That's 36:28. Hit pause on your playback.
And the reason we're doing that is because we want to remind you that today's episode is brought to you by Athletic Greens. And you can take a look at Rick and Scott Steiner and know them boys been eating something. And something they've been eating is AG1. I know Tony and I have. And the reason we started taking AG1, or at least Tony and I, is because honestly, we're busier than one-armed paper hanger. So we don't have time to do a little home chemistry set and figure out exactly what we need to be taking. But we know we want better gut health, especially when you're Tony Schiavone and you're on the road making towns. That's important. You need to be able to make the toilet as well. You also need more energy if you're going to be broadcasting live wrestling. And at his age, you want an optimized immune system. Maybe you're like me and you hate taking pills or vitamins. Maybe you're like me and you want a supplement that actually tastes great. Or maybe you want to see what all the hype is about because your wife's been taking AG1 forever. Tony, I don't know that we've talked about that before, but my wife was using Athletic Greens long before they were a sponsor. So what is AG1? Well, with just one scoop, you're absorbing 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. It's going to help you with your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, your focus, your recovery, your aging, all the things. And it really is just one scoop in a cup of water every morning. It's lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy, or gluten-free. It has less than 1 gram of sugar. There's no GMOs. There's no nasty chemicals. There's no artificial anything, but it's going to help you have better sleep quality, better recovery, better mental clarity, better alertness. And we like to consider it, Tony, like you're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance. But don't take mine on your word for it. They've got over 7,000 5-star reviews. And right now, I think we've got a special offer, do we not?
Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills, as Conrad said, and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5. Free travel packs with your first purchase. And these travel packs are freaking cool. I know for a fact. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/WHW. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/WHW. Take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
So with that in mind, Tony, I say we do a little countdown. And as you said, we're at 36:28 in 3, 2, 1, play.
Obviously, what we said earlier has come true. Kicking the opponent. What happened here? And the Steiners, they don't set well with them. But I'm going to tell you what, NWO got to understand the situation. Flair and Piper will be ready tonight.
Top rope Frankensteiner from Scott Steiner. We just saw one in the first match, but boy, it's a little different when you got a big old hoss up there, right?
Yeah, it is. A little bit slower. And look at Vincent. We are into the WCW versus NWO era, right? I mean, we're
knee deep.
A year into it. I guess in 97, we just had our first and only NWO pay-per-view, right?
Yeah, January. Well, you did a sold out in 98 as well, but that 97 one was just an all-time bad one. At least in 98, we got Brett and Rick, right?
Yeah, from what I remember.
Some decent stuff in there.
I like how they dipped to black here.
Well, it's because they cut out for commercials. So
Right.
you have to appreciate Peacock is not only for people who pay money like me and you, it's people who just have Comcast and they get that shit for free. So up next, we got Conan taking on Hugh Morris. I got to tell you, man, the crowd wasn't really with either one of these guys, but I thought at any given moment, these guys could move up the card. I was convinced that, Conan could certainly be, how like PCO or Jacques Rougeau, they used to be able to main event against Hulk Hogan in Montreal.
Okay.
So like maybe they normally hang around the mid card, but with the right venue, the right circumstance, the right audience, he could be a main event guy.
Right.
I always thought, man, wouldn't it have been cool to give Conan a shot at the WCW title in Mexico? Like, let's have WCW run a show in Mexico and let's have Conan be the hometown boy for the world title. I thought that would have been a home run. Like, I really think that gives it an international flair, shows Conan in a different light. And then here comes Hugh Morris, who always been a polarizing figure in the last decade or so. But in this era, I was like, that's a big boy to be able to do a moonsault. And I know, considering we've seen Vader do it, it's, well, a little less impressive because he is smaller than Vader. But still, I was like, man, there's something with that guy. I just felt like he could at least be a U.S. title like challenger and certainly a good opponent for the Goldbergs or the Kevin Nashes or the big boys, if you will.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, it doesn't feel like either really reached their full potential here. I know Conan was also a political animal and he was over like Rover, so there's no comparing the two. But I still just think in hindsight, think about Conan in 97, 96, 97, 98, even 99, headlining a WCW pay-per-view or special event from Mexico. I just think the heat down there would have been tremendous.
Oh, it would have been good, but there's so many politics in wrestling, especially between promotions. That probably would have never happened.
Yeah.
I like this version of Conan. I think what we saw last year or last week as we were watching 96, he looked a lot different than he looks right now. He had the mask on, if I recall. And now he come out, kind of with the plaid. I like this look of Conan, though. I really did.
Take a look now. Conan's going to suffer an injury. He's going to twist his knee for real, taking a bump into the ring steps. And from that point on, the match falls apart.
Okay.
And I think it's coming up soon.
All right.
We see Hugh Morris slung into the ring steps.
I love when he would go, "Underlay," and then he goes, "Hey, feel this. That's enough." That was so fucking cool.
Dude, that's enough thing.
Mm-hmm.
Chris McDonald, who, as you know, is our secret sauce for everything we do with these wonderful videos.
What's his name again?
Chris McDonald.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
You don't remember him?
I do. So anyway, is Chris going to be at StarCast?
I'm sure of it.
Okay. So anyway, so he loves Conan.
Well, he loves that. That's enough thing.
Okay.
He showed it to us and it got all over us.
Uh-huh.
And so now I forget if it was Starcast. I know for sure it was happening by Starcast 3, but it might have been happening at Starcast 1. He'd be sitting in the back making those videos, and every now and again, just to pop us, that would slide into one of them. And we also played the Barney song too. Are you in the loop on the Barney song?
Yeah.
So you remember Barney, the big dinosaur, right?
The big purple dinosaur. Yes.
Well, they did a rap. They did like a rap version.
Okay. All right.
So I fuck your bitch, you fat motherfucker. West side, bad boy kid. You know who the realest is, niggas.
That's the Barney song. Here we go. My favorite part.
First though, fuck your bitch and the click you claim. West side, when we ride, come equipped with game. You claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife. We bust on.
So what do you think about that?
That's some funny shit right there, man.
Dude, it got all over us when that was in the middle of like a CM Punk promo or highlight clip. And he was like, hey, I got this ready for social. And there's Barney. First off,
Barney was over, brother.
Barney was over.
He was over. He was over with the kids. He really was. I listen, I liked everything Conan did. I really did. I just thought he was, again, like you, I thought that he should have got his title shot, and but anyway.
Don't get me wrong. Oh, look, here we go. Let's see if he twists the knee right here. All right, now let's take a look, see if we can see him become Walkie Lip Jones here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think when he hit those steps, he planted that knee wrong and twisted it. Yeah. Trying to brace himself to get for that shot, and it went awry. Did you say Walkie Lip Jones?
Wonky Lip, yeah.
Wonky Lip Jones. Okay. Let's see. It's funny. Bug's got a wonky paw. We use it all the time. Yes.
He has what you call a wonky paw.
A wonky paw. The front.
Wonky paw. Wonky paw. Yeah.
Hey, Bug, how's that wonky paw doing, brother?
What's he do?
Right.
You just chew on it a lot?
No, it's deformed. So when he walks, the left paw sticks out to the left. And because he walks on it the wrong way, the pad gets infected a lot. And a lot of times he has to go through it drains, it bleeds, has like a big blister on it. It's wonky. It's a wonky paw. So yeah, Conan obviously is hurt here because he's doing a lot of just selling on the mat right now.
Yeah. So Meltzer would say Morris has good facials and is really agile for a guy his size, but I've still never seen him have a great complete match. Conan twisted his knee legit, taking a bump into the ring steps, and from that point on, the match fell apart. The finish saw Morris on the top rope for a moonsault, and it took Conan forever to get up and sweep his legs off to fall off the ropes. On the mat, Conan used Tequila Sunrise, which is a combination half crab and arm lock for the submission. As Public Enemy was doing their interview, which went nowhere on television and died live, Conan had to be helped out of the ring, which wasn't shown on TV because it would have taken from both a knee injury angle and a double stretcher job angle planned for later in the show. Negative half a star.
Whoa. Wow.
I mean,
negative half a star. Woo.
Because Conan can't really move around right now. He's hurting.
Yeah, man.
But in typical old school wrestler fashion, that's not enough. We got to finish.
Yeah, the fans not into this either. And right now, Hugh Morris and the referee all should know what's going on. That's why Hugh's going to keep it on the mat, you see. And not try to do anything. Just grab him and hold on the mat. But hey, you know what? In the old school days, 60s and 70s, right?
Yeah.
Grabbing a guy and cranking on an arm on the mat was all part of it.
Did you hear about Bill DeMott as a trainer?
Yeah, I heard he had a lot of enemies.
Here's a quote.
Okay.
They made a deal. They didn't want to train. They made a deal. What's the deal? I'll give somebody a squisher bare-assed with a jelly donut in their mouth. I looked around at 40 people and I went, deal. So the guy gets naked. The other guy sits in the corner with a jelly donut in his mouth. He runs across the ring, hits the Rikishi ass bump, squishes it all over his face. Funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Everybody goes, okay, we're done. Everybody can go home. No training, no nothing. That was the deal. 6 years later, that picture comes out on the internet. Quote, Bill DeMott makes students train naked. Now, was it the smartest deal I ever made? No. But was it funny as hell? You're in the room with a bunch of people all on the same page. They're tired for the week. Give me a deal and we're out. They made a deal. We stuck to the deal. 6 years later, somebody who was let go from the company and wasn't satisfied told a different story. Quote, Bill DeMott makes people train naked. I'm an internet sensation overnight. There was no malice. There was no nothing. It was a story innocent with a bunch of men and women who train together every day that when things aren't going their way, turned around and handed it to somebody else. And DeMott said if he had it to do all over again, he probably wouldn't change what he did. He said developmental wrestlers start to get jaded as training intensifies, and he wishes he helped them understand the process better. To be honest, I would probably do the exact same thing, but letting them know the repercussions. You start to feel entitled. Now you're paying me, and now I don't want to do it, so I have to find a way to make me feel better about myself. So that was on me. That's the one thing I would tell myself now. Stick to what you know. No, don't worry about hurting people's feelings or making them feel better about themselves. Help them realize early on what's needed and what it is. So there you go. We never talked about jelly donuts up the ass, but
God almighty.
What?
He really did that? Had them wrestle naked, put jelly donuts and squish them on their face with somebody's asshole?
He didn't make them do that. They offered to do it. They said,
offered,
hey, Mr. DeMott, we're tired. Can we go home? No. Can we make a deal with you? What kind of deal? What if I get naked, put a jelly donut up my ass and squish it in his face Rikishi style? Deal. So they did it. And then years later, Bill DeMott makes guys train naked. Well, no, he doesn't. Now, that being said, clearly there should have been an adult in the room. And in hindsight, we wish that was the guy who was a company representative and the boss, right?
Right. There was an adult in the room.
Well, but you know what I mean? Like everybody in these aren't underage jelly donuts. I mean, these are grown men putting jelly donuts in their assholes. Speaking of assholes, so Hugh Morris is taking his time getting to the top, and Conan's really hurting here. So now he's up there. He's still not on. Oh God. Boy, Conan's really making here. He just realized. It's like he forgot. You couldn't really see it, but you imagine Bill put his head between his legs like, come the fuck on.
That's so good.
So yeah, jelly donut up the ass.
Yeah.
And that's going to get it done, I believe.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Could he hold his arm properly from that direction anyway? Just feels like your arm's not supposed to bend that way. Never really seen a submission drop like that. But old Sling Blade don't care. That gets it done. Conan gets the win, but boy, you can tell he is hurting for certain. Negative half a star. And Tony, I don't know about you, but I'm thinking when we get to 50 on the nose, we take a pause.
That sounds good to me. Hit pause at 50:00.
I wanted to take a time out right now to tell you guys about something that Tony and I are both pretty passionate about, and that's taking care of our families. You know, when I wrote the foreword for your book, I talked about what a great dad you were. And that's because, man, you hold yourself to account. You take care of them. And that's what I think most of our listeners do, right? We're supposed to be here to take care of our families. Well, here's the question. Who's going to take care of your family when something happens to you? Now, if something happens to your car this morning on your ride to work, and Lord, we hope it doesn't, well, you got insurance for that. And maybe if you get a little sniffle this afternoon and maybe want to slide by the old doc in a box, well, you got insurance for that too, most likely.
Right.
Maybe if you live here in Alabama, what if a nader comes and knocks your roof off? Well, you probably got insurance for that. But what if somebody takes you out?
Did you say nader?
Did you say
a nader?
A nader. Everybody knows about naders.
Oh, like a tornado.
Tornado.
Okay. I was thinking about like a mater. Like
No, not a mater, a nader.
A nader. Good. All right.
Anyway,
proceed.
Point being, what if that nader got you? What if that car wreck got you? Now, I can't believe this is real, but a realtor friend of mine who I've done business with for like 9 years just passed away this past week, 40 years old. That makes the third person I personally know in the last 2 years who's passed away in their 40s. And I got to tell you, 10 years ago, this wouldn't have even been something I thought about. But now that I got kids going to college in my life, all of a sudden, hey man, who's going to take care of them is like a real question. Goliathlife.com has the answers for you. Let me explain. If you go find life insurance on your own, you could sure take the time and go get 20 different quotes, do 20 different applications and figure out which one made sense for you. You know how much time that's going to take? You know how big of a hassle that would be? What if there was one website where you could go to, type in your information, pick your payment, pick your terms. You're in total control. So if you say, I want to pay $100 a month, or I want to pay $10 a month, or you know what, I want a big time policy and I want to make sure that my family, blah, 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 whatever you're looking for, they got it there. You know why? They have 20 carriers. You get 20 quotes at one time, all in one place. This is a real life hack. It's Goliathlife.com. They're going to make the process fast and easy. Goliathlife.com. And Tony, I'm at 50 on the nose. I'm ready to get going in 3, 2, 1, play. There's Conan still convalescing on the mat here. He had to be helped out, man. Think about that. Like, this is a real deal injury. You don't see those a ton, but we got one here. And I think we're going to be getting a silly ass interview with Public Enemy. Let's take a listen.
It's like the old days, this capacity crowd, and just a ton of action still to come. Attention hotline fans. There's a rumor circulating back in the dressing room area that a man may be showing up in Chicago tomorrow night at WCW Monday Nitro, a man that is having problems with his current organization. There's a lot of talk about this. For obvious reasons, I cannot mention this gentleman's name on this pay-per-view. However,
so they're talking about Shawn Michaels, who had just gotten in a backstage fight with Bret the Hitman Hart and walked out because of an unsafe working environment. So that's the big tease. Hey, what if Shawn Michaels shows up?
Well, Gene could sell it too, couldn't he?
Yeah, he could.
All right, Pauline, Davenport, Rock Island, Bettendorf, the world, get ready. My guests at this time, get ready to rock with the Public Enemy.
Standing here, Pauline. Let's see where they get the word orange bed. A sea of hands.
I love bad interviews, and apparently we're getting a good one here.
They got a table, and there's only Gene Okerlund standing there with him, Gene. Put his little divot head right through it.
Gentlemen, it might be a little premature. We still got a little slack left in this particular evening. Flyboy Rocco Rock, Johnny Crunch, gentlemen. What? Hey, I can't have it. I see what you do.
This I like.
Right through this table. Gentlemen, what brings you to the Great American Bash? I know you're not on the card, but I have an idea that you've been looking at some of these great matches.
We're at the Mark of the Quad. I'm overwhelmed. I'm exasperated. And my flipper didn't miss this flip. It's like Saturday night on South Street, Gino.
Well, it's a great time. You don't have to wet your pants over it. However, I think I like to bring up the fact that people, as I walked into this building tonight, have a lot to say, asking a lot of questions about the Public Enemy here in World Championship Wrestling.
Well, the problem is, let's get down to business right here. They're talking about a lot of tag teams and who's the top and who's the bottom, from the top to the bottom and the bottom to the top, Gino. You know, you look like my friend Johnny Pots and Pans' brother-in-law, Gino the Book. But besides that, I just want to say one thing. Here they are making the Harlem Heat #1 contenders. Who are they to be #1 contenders? Who's number one contenders, Gino?
Wait a
Who's
minute.
number one contenders, Sonny? Your grandma was right. You're as dumb as a rock.
Hey,
Well, just because I'm not as smart as you, Rock.
hey, both of you guys don't be sitting on this table at the same time. We could end up looking like some of your opponents from the past.
Gino, it's like this. Lottie Dottie, Quad City, you ready to party?
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Rock it like hell, make it sound like heaven. Now, Gino, let's get back to business. We're tired. We're the ex-WCW champions. The main office is overlooking me and Johnny. We've been in there, and we're not afraid of the Harlem Heat. Hey, Rocco, I'm afraid of the Harlem Heat.
I thought so.
Not. What it is, we're not afraid of nobody. Like Rock said, we've been WCW World Tag Team Champions. Quit looking us over, because PE is here to stay. And let me down it, we're going to have one heck of a party. It's time for a house party. Get up out of your chair and throw your hands in the air. Hit the music, Mr. DJ.
The Academy joined down amongst this.
Well, that was some stupid shit that went nowhere.
Yeah, and you could tell Gene's facial reactions on it too, that it was going nowhere.
Thankfully, we got more stupid shit going nowhere coming up next with Glacier and Wrath.
Woo!
Tony, I'm at 54.50. I'm hitting pause.
54.50.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, play.
You think I'm kidding about that?
It's a house party in the Quad Cities right now. Look at that. It really is.
Listen, I know they were an overact in ECW, but man, I just never really got with Public Enemy and WCW. Did you?
Well, don't you think that it was kind of a, I don't know. I feel like the Public Enemy from ECW was an R-rated act, and with ECW was R-rated, and with us was like PG.
Really?
Yeah, I just feel like it. I don't know. I felt like they just made it a little bit milder for us. That's just me looking at it now, not back then, because back then, as you probably know, I wasn't that.
We had to focus on serious stuff like this.
It's a pretty fucking cool entrance.
Super cool. Not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Super, super duper cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, think about what is the entrance that have gone on since then. I think about, I don't know, some of the WWE entrances. Oh, well, think about the Undertaker's entrance. I mean, this is nowhere near that.
No,
but it's still, it's still kind of theatrical, right? Like this is. I think of the I may not have it right here, but John Huber's, one of his gimmicks during the WWE, Bludgeon Brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was kind of theatrical, right? And there's our trainer. What's this all about? And Doug Dellinger? Well, that's not our trainer. I'm sorry. That's one of our security guys. That's two of our security guys. Those are two off-duty Charlotte police, as Doug would say, police officers. You ever talk to Doug on the phone or anything like that?
Just one time.
Yeah, he really country. We were in Albany, Georgia. We did this angle where someone got attacked.
Yeah.
And so we had Doug Dellinger, find this guy. And Doug Dellinger said, "We need some help. We need some help." And Dusty gave him such a hard time about that. Dusty said, "Help?" Dusty said, "I'm the only one that can talk like that. Help?" It was just, you had to be there, but it was just freaking hilarious. Because he was kind of Dusty's guy. He drove Dusty around.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. He was, and I'm talking about later on, he was always with Dusty. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of times it was Doug, Dusty, me, and Janie going from, like, let's say the building to the airport or something like that. or going to the next town. God, I rode with so many different people
Legends.
during the course of my years. I really did. I mean, I
Let's see,
obviously,
Ray Lloyd there.
yeah, Ray Lloyd. Obviously, the ones that I drove with more than any were the horsemen back in the day. But I drove to towns with Cornette. Let me see if I can give you a grocery list. Cornette, Nikita, Arn, Flair, Tully, Baby Doll, Wyndham, Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart and I drove together for a lot. Dusty, a lot. Kevin Sullivan. Wow, that's kind of a who's list there, isn't it? JJ.
Yeah.
That I drove with. Obviously, Heenan, Lee Marshall, Tenay, and I drove around together. Mark Madden. Just some great memories. And a lot of the great memories are things that happen outside of the ring for me. And sometimes those memories, I need to see something here as we're doing a watch along to be able to jumpstart those memories and kick them into gear and remember some of the things that happened. In the WWE, Howard Finkel, drove around with him a lot. The Fink, man, what a great ring announcer. I've met some great people in this business, Conrad. I really have.
No doubt.
And I got a lot of memories. Now, I don't know what this storyline here is about, but obviously.
Mr. James Vandenberg is here because he's a collector of oddities.
Of course he is.
And he wants these precious artifacts that Glacier has.
Right.
Like that goofy fucking helmet. And so he's enlisted the help of a zombie named Mortis.
Okay, but
mercenary named Wrath.
Mortis has to be handcuffed here to the turnbuckle, so I don't know what that's about. But
well, because they don't want a 2-on-1 interference type situation.
Well, why don't they just handcuff everybody?
Well, because it's 1-on-1. I mean, Mortis shouldn't even be here, but zombies don't listen. You see?
Are you trying to make sense out of this fucking angle? And that being said, let's check the Wrestling Observer from 1997 and see what the all-knowing, all-seeing, smarter than you are, Dave Meltzer had to say.
Mortis was handcuffed to the ring post for this match. They did a lot of kicks and palm blows early. Glacier had a pescado and threw Wrath into the steps. And at one point, Mortis pushed Wrath out of the way, causing Glacier to crash into the corner. Wrath had Mortis high for a power bomb, but dropped it backwards into a hot shot. Wrath used a rolling body block off the apron, which was kind of an impressive move for his size. They tried to bill Wrath at 6'10" or 6'11". He's more like 6'6" or 6'7". Even with all the trappings and throwing in some nice moves for a guy of his size, he still got the charisma of Adam Bomb, and the match really never got over. The finish saw Mortis throw a chain into the ring, but Glacier got it and hit Wrath with it for the pin. As this was going on, James Vandenberg got the key to the handcuffs from the ref and released Mortis. The two handcuffed Glacier to the ring ropes, and it took 2 tries to pull that one off, and attacked him after the match, 3/4 of a star.
Wow. Well, see, that's great. That's great that we said he was 6'10" or 6'11", but Meltzer knew. He was smarter than us. He knew he was more like 6'6" or 6'7". Can't fool him.
All the pertinent information.
It's right there, man. He knows.
And I bet for sure he knows that Ric Flair was never actually 6'1", 249.
He probably does know, because he knows it all. He can look on his TV screen, which obviously what he did, because I don't think he was there live. He could look on his TV screen and go, that's really about 6'7.5", not 6'11". Speaking of tall guys, I finally did get to meet in person Steph Chesney, who does our music here.
Yep.
And he's about 6'6". He's a big old boy. We had lunch with him in Las Vegas because that's where he lives. I had lunch with Rajiv Laffey, who's a longtime low-key big hog, and who coined the phrase goose face or goose book. He said, humans are on Facebook, gooses are on Goosebook. So as we are making fun of gooses, there's a goose on Goosebook that's, writing about us and talking shit about us on Goosebook. So anyway, thanks, Rajiv. I had lunch with him when we were in Vegas.
Great guy.
Yeah, he's one of the best. I was very, very honored to be a part of. Did I ever tell you the story? To be part of his engagement.
No.
Yeah. And this is one of those moments to where you realize that what we do means a lot to people. I meet a lot of people, and I meet a lot of people in the arenas, or we had a fan fest on the Saturday of Double or Nothing, and I got to meet a lot of people, and most of them, and I'm going to say 80% of them, say, love your podcast with Conrad. So I know it means a lot. I really know it means a lot. But when Rajiv had me be a part of his engagement, I knew I meant a lot. So he went to Disney World with his girlfriend, and he had me call on the phone. And I called on the phone to talk to him, and he said, "Hey, Tony wants to talk to you." So his girlfriend got on the line, and I said, "Listen, do you really like this guy, Rajiv?" She went, "Yes." I said, "Do you really love him?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Then we'll turn around." She turned around. He was on one knee with a ring.
Oh man, how cool is that?
Isn't that great?
That's awesome, dude.
And I was so honored to be a part of that. I really was, that they would want me to be a part of that. And that just, again, that just shows that, well, we mean a lot to a lot of people, and that means a lot to me.
Well, I got big heat with Rajiv now. I was putting him over a minute ago, but now I know he's a nothing happening, no good son of a bitch.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because he did that to prove a point that he could get you to be involved in his engagement. Meanwhile, you won't even show up to my fucking wedding.
Yeah, well, I had a football game that day at LSU, you fucker.
Yeah, and now tell us what games you're calling this fall. You
None.
fucker.
Okay.
And why is that?
But you got me into wrestling, you fucker.
What the fuck, Tony?
It's your fault, not mine.
Here's what's good. There's one way you're going to get to make this up to me. You're going to get ordained, and you're going to help Megan and I renew our vows next year on our 5th anniversary.
You're going to renew your vows on your 5th anniversary?
We got to do it before you kick, son.
Okay. Renew your vows on your 5th anniversary. Lois and I, this past Monday, celebrated number 41.
That's
and we didn't renew our vows.
No, because you wouldn't fell for that shit twice. I know you.
You guys are going to start renewing your vows every other year now?
No,
just
I
to
was
make
just
sure.
trying to find a way to get you involved, but clearly you just don't have any patience for appreciation or love for me or my family, and that's fine. It's fine.
That is such a bullshit line. Such a bullshit line. What's your bride's name again?
You don't know my wife's name?
Oh, Megan.
I've known her longer than I have.
Megan. There you go. Hey, Rascal, take flight here. Watch him. Big man, 6'7", as Dave Meltzer would so accurately say.
The old adage, fight fire with fire, and there, 300 plus pounds all the way on the upper body and the back of the head that time, I think. Maybe hit on the outside of those mats.
Yeah, that's a move that we're more used to seeing from the cruiserweights, that running somersault off the apron.
Did he just have a job as long as he did because he was big? Is that it?
Because he was 6'7".
No, he's 6'10" or 11, didn't he, Reed?
Oh, yeah. Well, the ladders we use are like 6 feet, 12 feet, 35 feet.
That's a 15-foot ladder. That's a 25-foot ladder. Greatest night in the history of our great sport.
Wow, had to throw that out, didn't you? Look at that face. That'll put butts in seats. Ooh, speaking of that, shameless promo here. Mick Foley's on the network now, isn't he, with us?
Yeah, man. I was hoping you were gonna hit us with a That'll put some buds in ears or whatever.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Eric Bischoff came up with that and tweeted it a while back. And I was like, well, look at there.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, so Poley is God. Foley is Pod has dropped. Having a good time with it?
Oh, man, it's so fun. I think you're going to love it. I really do.
You really?
Yeah. I mean, he's such a sweet, genuine, great human being who has such a love and passion for wrestling and storytelling and helping people. There's no way. I encourage everybody, listen to the first 20 minutes of Foley is Pod. And if you're not into it, turn it off forever.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a feeling you'll finish all 3 hours of episode 1. We didn't really have a plan. We never, as you know, Tony, we never planned to go a certain amount of time on a show. It just, when it organically ends, it organically ends. And we have a complete and thorough conversation. And man, Foley is just a natural. And your old pal, Mr. Regal, he's got a podcast now too. Gentleman Villain. How about that?
How about that? How's that going? Even though Matt Coon's part of it.
You're not a Matt Coon guy?
Well, you know, I could have died and he wouldn't have helped.
That's true.
Yeah.
I kind of forget about that you nearly died in my basement.
Mm-hmm.
Or as you said, I'm going to die in Huntsville, Alabama in a basement full of marks.
Yeah. That was funny. How's the new house going, by the way?
Oh, it's fantastic, dude. I went through yesterday and saw they're knocking out a bunch of painting and all the countertops are in and all the tile is done and all the hardwoods are done. And it's getting a little real now. They're putting our bench in our pool today and going to respray it tomorrow. And
that's
pretty crazy.
I look forward to coming to visit.
I look forward to you never showing up. Oh man, what a terrible looking ref bump. So Glacier trying to get to his feet, falls into Nick Patrick. Nick Patrick falls into the top rope. When he does that, it knocks Wrath down. Wrath is now sitting on the top rope. Here comes Glacier, looking like he's going to do a top rope superplex. Let's track it.
Superplex off the top.
Got it. The biggest move of the match right there, but both men hit very hard.
But boy, that crowd just does not give a shit, do they?
No.
I mean, look at that. And by the way, these are all very capable performers. We know Mortis is a real originator. We know Wrath has been a star everywhere he's been. 6'11", everybody knows that. And then what a cool entrance for Glacier, but the fans are just, no thanks.
In the ring, and that causes the momentum and the tide to turn.
Now Vandenberg picking up the slack. What do we have here?
Vandenberg should not have his back to the camera. Watch out, Mortis.
Oh, it's a chain.
Here comes that chain. Mortis throws the chain in. Oh, look at there. Instead, Glacier has it.
Marie has the and he down right with the chain.
The big man is still up. He's still up now.
He's still up. And Vandenberg he was trying to get the key. And here's 1, 2, 3.
So Glacier's undefeated. Big pop from the crowd. And everybody wonders, does anybody care?
Well, the fans popped.
But did they pop because it was over?
Probably so.
I guess there's a chance that they popped because they enjoyed it, but it feels like they probably just were glad it was over. Now it looks like Vandenberg's got some plans here. Pointing that finger at Glacier, and here comes Wrath. Oh, and up from behind, here comes Mortis. Here we go.
It's simple. Total destruction of Glacier.
Glacier wins again, but the battles are continuing. Oh my goodness. He hit him with that.
He almost clotheslined him.
Yeah, with the handcuffs, the elongated handcuffs. And now they're hooking a handcuff on Glacier, and they're going to hook it here to the top rope. Glacier's turn to be incarcerated now for a while.
Well, I guess it is. And now the match is over, and they're going to have their way with Glacier. There's absolutely nowhere for him to go here. Look at this.
He realizes now he's hooked. He's not going anything. You're going to be in for the fight of your life right now, my friend.
Dun 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 dun.
Mortal Kombat.
Dun 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 dun. Oh 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 oh! Fist of fire! Fist of fire! Hit that X button, the Y button, joystick. Oh oh oh! Keypad. Oh oh oh! Touchpad.
You know, we should have played that during some of the JCP beatdowns
Mm-hmm.
when like the Horsemen were beating up Dusty in the parking lot.
Right. It's some cool shit, man. I love that song. The kids love that movie. Of course, the kids played Mortal Kombat. It was big, obviously, and really still is. But it was big back then when it first came out, and the kids loved it. And the fucking movie was so... I really enjoyed the movie. I went with the kids. I remember it and enjoyed that song. Mortal Kombat. Dun, 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 dun. So that's the sole reason that Eric came up with this.
Yeah.
And you know what? Before it all went in the ring and then kind of looked like this, it was pretty... the Glacier videos were pretty fucking cool, weren't they?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, they were. So there you go. And good old Ray Lloyd still is training people today. Good guy. Good guy.
No doubt about it. And it looks like we're getting ready for our next match. And Tony, on my end, it looks like I'm at 1:15:23. I'm going to take a pause right there. And I'm taking a pause because I think we've got an important message that we should smarten everybody up on.
Okay.
You know, 2 out of 3 men are going to experience some form of hair loss by the time they're 35. And I have to admit, I thought I had dodged that bullet because, well, I'm 40. But last year, I saw my dad getting in the pool when we went to the beach for their anniversary. And I saw my dad was getting what you called a flesh-colored yarmulke back there.
Yeah, man.
Now, that tells me if it's starting for him and he's in his 60s, that I can't be that far behind. More than 50 million men in the U.S. suffer from some form of male pattern baldness. And that's why I started doing some research on Keeps. It turns out Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of their competitors. You know what else they got? Well, there are only 2 FDA-approved medications that can help you prevent hair loss, and Keeps offers both.
Yep.
Keeps offers a simple, affordable, and stress-free way to keep your hair. Check this out. They've got convenient virtual doctor consultations and medications delivered straight to your door every 3 months, meaning you don't even have to leave the house. And they've got 24/7 care and support. Keeps has a network of expert medical advisors, prescribers, and care specialists to support you in making those hair goals a reality. It's also low cost too. Treatments start at just $10 per month. And Keeps offers generic versions of the 2 FDA-approved medications to prevent hair loss. The treatment plans are affordable. How affordable? Well, typically like half the cost of those pharmacy prices. Keeps has everything your hair needs delivered straight to your door with discreet packaging and proven results. But now remember, prevention is key. Treatments can take 4 to 6 months to see results, so act fast. When it comes to your hair, save more and spend less. And right now, Tony, I think we got a special offer, right?
We do have a special offer. Before I hit you with that, let me say that thanks to Keeps, and this is true, I used to see hair in the drain when I took a shower. No more hair in the drain.
Oh, yeah. Come on now.
Isn't that something that just absolutely amazing? When I found Keeps online and started using their products, I'm telling you, no more hair in the drain. And that is a big deal. So if you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss like I have done because of my age, and of course, age doesn't matter. I know that. You go to keeps.com/WHW to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's KEEPS.com/WHW keeps.com/WHW to get your first month free. keeps.com/WHW.
And Tony, with that in mind, we're going to get going here at 1:15:23 and 3, 2, 1, play.
For winning, our next matchup is going to have a stern price for losing for Madusa, because in this matchup, if Madusa does not get the ladies heavyweight championship away from Akira Hokuto, she must end her career here tonight. And we welcome to the broadcast location our good friend Lee Marshall, who joined us each and every Saturday on WCW Saturday night, Saturday morning on WCW.
Let's listen to Lee.
Careers of both ladies, Lee.
Look at her.
This is the most important match in Madusa's career.
Well, first of all, Tony, I can't believe to this date that she signed this match. She was basically goaded into it by this man, Sonny Ono. Akira Hokuto, as you can see, with the 10 pounds of gold around her waist, one of the most superb athletes in the entire world. She is the defending champion, and as you said, Tony, this is it. Absolute worst case for Hokuto is if Madusa wins, she still is the #1 challenger. If Madusa loses, that's it. Her career as a wrestler has come to an end here at the mark of the clock.
But you know something, Marshall? If Madusa does win, it'll be a long time before this woman gets a return match. They make Madusa wait, she'll make them wait.
I think of some of the people that Madusa has actually fought over the past. She's held championship belts virtually.
What do you think about Akira Hokuto's outfit here? Not too long ago, I watched a Nitro that she was on, and Eric Bischoff just loved it. The crazy wig, like the air regulator that's bejeweled or bedazzled, the big puffy shoulder pads, and way down yonder, here comes Madusa. Looks like $1 million here. Hokuto and her are, this is a grudge match now.
Yeah.
I also would say this match was far more significant than just the stipulations that Madusa would have to retire, since she's going to become a valet if she lost. This result truly signified the death of women's wrestling in the United States once again.
Wow.
Sure, women's wrestling will continue to exist on the indie level, but the WWF gave up on it at the end of 95 and hasn't looked back. And now WCW, by this result, has given up as well. While both groups tried to make Madusa the standard bearer, figuring her combination of some ability and sex appeal would be marketable, it just didn't work in either federation. She didn't have breakthrough charisma, and more importantly, the only way gimmicks like women or minis can work in 97 more than once a year sideshow acts is if they perform better than the men. On occasion, Madusa and Bull Nakano in the WWF were better than the man, but not consistently, and eventually nobody cared. And once they did the Bertha Faye feud, everyone knew the division was dead. There's a lot of people who don't understand the situation and put tons of heat on Madusa for throwing the WWF belt in the garbage can when she showed up on Nitro. But that's what Eric Bischoff wanted, and it got her a 2-year contract in WCW when her opportunities in wrestling were limited. For reasons I've never figured out, a lot of people didn't understand that Madusa was fired by the WWF. Seeing his chance to pull a major in-your-face move, Bischoff made the deal with Madusa, and it was clear at the beginning the company had no idea what they were actually going to do with her after the belt in the garbage can once they got her. They tried bringing in Japanese wrestling legend in Hokuto and give her a storyline, but it never got over, and the Americans that they tried to put her against got over even less and couldn't have good matches with her. The bottom line was business. It cost too much to fly in opponents from Japan, defeat her when they aren't going to have a great match, and nobody cared about it anyway. And with the promoters perceiving that the male audience wanted to see TNA valets rather than women wrestle. It's unfortunate that due to the lack of real talent available in the States, that it'll probably be many years before women's wrestling resurfaces in the WWF or WCW. And anything presented with women before an ECW audience can't be anything other than a sideshow catfight. As for the match, it was one of the best that the two ever had, with a dramatic storyline and well-executed moves. So he liked it, but yeah, this is kind of going to be like the end of WCW. And she still has that belt, from what I understand, the one that we saw our referee hold up. She still has it with her over in Japan, I think, according to Sonny Ono. And, it's a shame because we know now women's wrestling is a big doggone deal, and it has been for 7 years or so, at least on the WWE side of things. But before that, man, for probably 8 years, maybe more. Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair were tearing it up, and they just needed an opportunity. They got one. Hashtag give divas a chance or whatever it was, went trending, and man, they did an about face on it, and now it's a winner. And man, some of the best reactions we've seen in AEW, like Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa and all that stuff, just really good stuff.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what was the turning point to make women's wrestling mainstream? And I guess you said it, give divas a chance. Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks.
Yeah, there was a Nikki Bella, maybe it was a Bella's tag match or something. I forget exactly what it was, but it was a Monday Night Raw, and I think the girls had like 22 seconds in a match. And it was just because whenever time would get cut, they would always just say, "Oh, cut it from the girls, cut it from the girls, cut it from the girls." So then in the end, you had like 4 ladies in a match that was over as soon as it got started. And people online started to get pissed off about it and say, "Hey, we just have to have a chance. We just have to give them some time." And Stephanie McMahon was like, "Hey, we hear you, patience." And sure enough, man, I mean, they wound up main eventing a WrestleMania. So, and I think we're better for it. I mean, I'm glad. And but let me say this: I was one of the rare folks who was actually entertained by this. I was in 1997 a tape collector, a tape trader. So I was getting tapes from Japan. Now, I have to admit, I wasn't getting a whole bunch of Japanese women's wrestling, but I did get some of the crazy spectacles and some of the unbelievable All Japan stuff. But I had a best of Madusa in Japan tape because I wanted to learn more about what she had done over there because Mike Tenay would hype it up so much. And I understand that this is definitely going to be more American style, and, it's a different environment. And I totally get what Meltzer's saying there about what this male audience wanted. They wanted, Sunny and Sable more so than Akira Hokuto. She's way ahead of her time, and so was Madusa.
Yeah. A couple of things. I don't know if you realize this in very, very WCW-ish fashion. Her name was spelled differently on her font than it was on the big screen video behind her. It was spelled H-O, and on the big screen behind her when she walked in was H-U. So I thought that just said a lot about us. Also, thought I know that Meltzer and people online did not like Lee Marshall as an announcer. I thought he was fantastic. I thought his voice was great. He made it sound authentic.
Wait. What was his voice?
Great.
Nope. One more time.
Great.
Thank you.
And he made it sound authentic. And I never will forget, I've probably brought this up online, when we started doing Thunder, I was in the room when Eric Bischoff had us all in the room. He looked at Lee. He said, "Lee, I'm going to put you on Thunder. Do you want to do play-by-play or color?" And Lee paused and said, "Color." And I remember thinking, damn, Lee, you should have done play-by-play because your voice is so good. And so that put him on Thunder as a color guy. But I Lee Marshall's one of my favorite people of all time. If you didn't like Lee Marshall, you didn't like anybody. He was just a nice person. And speaking of women's wrestling in Japan, I've been watching some women's wrestling in Japan. I've been watching some Stardom matches.
Oh, how about you? Look at you showing off.
And some Joshi Pro. Because I really like Rio and Yuka. Those girls, I really do. Emi Sakura is such a nice person. They're so nice, and they're just absolutely adorable. Those I'd like for us to use more of them. I really would. There's a lot of girls out there in Japan that can really perform, and I'd like for us to use more of them. Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah, I really would. So. And we got some great performers with us. You mentioned Thunder Rosa, and you mentioned Britt, of course, and obviously Serena and Chris Statlander and Jade, and one of my favorites, Red Velvet. Look at this, man. I don't care if you what gender you are. That fucking hurts.
That's impressive, is what it is.
Yes, you damn right it is. Wow. Great stuff. There you see Madusa talking to her. She's got a hand over her mouth. It's got to be tough too to be able to work a match against a lady from Japan if she does not, speak English. And of course, many of them don't. Oh, here's another shout out to a Japanese wrestler on the male side, Takeshita.
Oh, man.
He can perform, can he?
He's going to be at StarCast.
Yes. Good job.
He's actually wrestling a match on Friday.
Oh, cool.
We're kicking off everything Friday at 5 p.m. with Black Label Pro, an independent wrestling promotion founded by the guy who used to famously ask on shoot interviews, how big's Batista's dick? Well, these days he's promoting wrestling, and he's going to have some stars in there, and I think he's got some other surprises lined up that I can't share, but should be fun.
That's tremendous. That's tremendous. You wouldn't happen to have Riho or Yuka Sakazaki coming, would you? Two of my favorites.
No, I haven't been talking to Sonny Ono, but I think we got another plan, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, very cool. Well, good. You know what? This is a good match.
Yeah, it is. It's a 3-star match. I mean, I really enjoy it.
I'm enjoying it too, man.
I think sometimes, I don't know. I think sometimes Meltzer takes it a little too seriously. Let's take a listen.
Let's listen to it.
Let's go.
She's going to the rope.
Trying to get the rope.
Yeah, that's the only thing she can do here. Let her give up. No. Mickey J said no. How much can she take? How much can she take? This is incredible. I've never seen a woman take this much punishment in my life.
This is the heart of a champion, old gentlemen. Both women, in all fairness, but Madusa, this is the heart of a champion.
Trying to get to the ropes. Madusa reaching and slide. Oh, boy. That was extra effort that time. And not only that, in the clutches of that hole, it probably put more added pressure on the knee as well. And you notice something? Japanese are very smart. She knows that leg's bad. She knows that knee hurts, so she's taking advantage of it. She's going to take advantage. That's how she's going to win the match. Up on.
That's a move by Madusa.
Now, wrestling defensively, moved out of the way, picks her up, German suplex, and Sonny Ono's got the leg.
And Sonny pulled on the bad leg. I guess Sonny knew what he was going after.
You see her trying to feed it to Sonny? It's this one, Sonny. Take this one. That was funny.
She is one heck of a champion. Win or lose this one.
You bet. And as much as it pains me to say this, Bobby, I think you're probably right. Madusa is successful here. She's not going to want to give Hokuto a rematch for quite some time, if ever at all.
You may not be able to. There's some rehab with this knee here. It's not over yet.
It's back now. And Hokuto.
Sonny pulled on that leg, that hyperextended that knee even further.
Wow.
And now
she's selling it so great.
Yeah.
But afterwards, when Mean Gene tries to interview her, fans start chanting, "Leave her alone."
Leave her alone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, she had some sympathy here. She's selling it.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's doing it
right. I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, she did a great job here.
Got the knees up.
It's one of the best matches of the card so far.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, Ultimo, Psychosis, and then this one so far.
Yeah, right.
Ultimo and Psychosis are just hard to beat, man.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm enjoying this one. I really am.
By the way, how many times have you found yourself singing my remix of Chattahoochee? I get text messages about that all the time.
Do you really?
I hate you. Every time that song comes on now, I think it gets harder than a joy.
Oh, wow. Look at that, man. Way down yonder in the Chattahoochee.
Now what does she do? It's over. It's over.
Akira Hokuto retains the ladies heavyweight championship, and we've seen the end of a great career of Madusa. They're not finished. What in the world are they trying to accomplish here? The lady's career is over. She's biting on the leg, on the shin of Madusa. And Madusa now just, this is unbelievable.
Hokuto's still going to work on the left knee. I just don't know what to say. I said, I've followed this woman her whole career, her whole, pardon the phrase from Larry, her whole glorious career. And to think that it ended here at the Great American Bash, I'm still processing the information, guys, because, quite honestly, I just can't believe that Madusa is finished.
One tough customer right there, one tough cookie. Hokuto retains the title. Wasn't an easy fight, and it was a fight. He took it right to Madusa. And she's broken down here. You can see that she's crying. Oh, no. Is he going to want fries or what?
Oh, stop it. Just stop it.
You shut up. I could be a hairdresser. Can we turn his microphone off?
You are looking at one of the finest athletes, men or women, to ever compete in this fine sport, regardless of what others might suggest.
Well, one good news is she won't be standing in unemployment line on that bad leg. Well, here's Hokuto. She's got her up. Madusa's in some pretty bad shape right now, that leg. With a 1, 2, 3. Your winner, and still the women's heavyweight champion of the world, Hokuto.
You know, it amazes me that you would think that I would have anything to do with it.
The referees, Lee Marshall, thank you very much. As the referees help Madusa to her feet, she gets a rousing ovation for the fans here. She's going to need some help getting out, and Dusty Rhodes going to sit back down here and join us. And Dusty, that was a tough one.
I'm going to tell you what, you know.
Wait a minute. Okay, Dusty, before you talk, Gene Okerlund's down there.
Oh.
End of a career. Gene, go ahead. Are you there?
Yeah, Tony. Chuck, what's the status of this left knee? You know, about 8 years ago, Whitney Richter blew that same knee out, and I've got a feeling the same thing happened here tonight. Can I get an answer?
For me, not right now.
You know, maybe that shouldn't even be a consideration due to the fact that her career right now is history. It's over. It's toast for this young lady. Madusa, do you realize what's happened here tonight? This is something, you put your career on the line. Do you have any idea as to the gravity of that? Apparently, I'm not going to get an answer from her, Tony.
No, I can't say I blame her, really.
Leave her alone. Listen to this chant from these people here at ringside tonight. This young lady is hurt. She's hurt badly. She's being assisted. Tony, let's get back to you.
Gene, thanks a lot.
Is that one of the most incredible performances by Madusa ever? I mean,
it's one of the greatest sell jobs from any wrestler on this card.
That was fantastic. Dude.
That was real. She cried. She hobbled. We got our trainer to help her out. The fans chanted, "Leave her alone."
I loved it.
Yeah, I did too. That was drama.
Well done. And now here comes something totally different. Chris Benoit and Ming gonna hook it up here.
Yeah. Yeah, Betty. Two tough guys. But man, the Madusa thing, holy shit. You know, I've as I do most things that we did back in the 90s, I forgot all about it, but all that stuff comes rushing back now.
It was good stuff too, dude.
It was good stuff. The fans reacted. The fans felt for her. She did a great job of just everything. And speaking of great jobs, God Almighty. It was great seeing his son the other night wrestle for us. First thing I asked him, I said, Hikuleo, it's really great to see you. Where's your dad? He said he's not here. I went, damn it.
This match here, by the way, is 14:59. It's billed as a death match.
Mm-hmm.
Meltzer would say Nancy Sullivan is no longer. Oh my God. Tope Suicida.
Absolutely.
Nancy Sullivan is no longer associated with Benoit, although no acknowledgement was made of it and no storyline reason given. As best we can tell, it's just another example of Kevin Sullivan losing power.
Wow.
There's been talk of Nancy resurfacing in someone else's corner or just disappearing from the scene. Sullivan's still supposed to return to booking in August, theoretically, after retiring from the ring after the next pay-per-view show, although that isn't definite, as people are saying. And if he does, his power as booker likely won't be what it was.
Wow.
The match had a basic storyline that Benoit kept going back to the crossface, and Ming kept using his power to break it or get to the ropes until finally he wore him down and made him tap with it. In that way, the match had a good storyline, and obviously Benoit is one of the best 5 performers in the country. The negatives are Ming is very limited, and fans at home don't respect Ming for his legit toughness the way those in the business do, so it just never registers to people who see him as anything other than a large, uncharismatic undercard guy who's been around forever and never done anything.
This is...
The negative to the rules of this match is they don't do pins. The match could end with a 10 count knockout. So instead of exciting near falls that build excitement whenever a hot move is hit, they did counts, and the crowd didn't understand and kept killing the momentum.
Yeah.
That's something that I think is maybe lost a lot of times in these weird stipulation and circumstances like this. We're not really making sure the live crowd really understands. But it probably should have been flashed up on the screen. We probably should have had a ring announcer introduce it and do like almost a main event style in this corner, in that corner.
Right.
Here are the rules, blah, blah, blah. Well, they don't really do any of that here. And I blame you for that.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'll take the blame for that, because I should have been more on top of my game on that. It's amazing, though, when you listen to the reports about Kevin Sullivan. I mean, all these reports just smack of Terry Taylor. What a freaking stooge.
You love these stooges, don't you?
Well, the business has been full of them. I mean, what's the end game here of stooging things off to the dirt sheets?
Right.
What are you accomplishing? I don't know. Maybe. I remember Mark Madden one time told me, he says, you do know if you talk to Meltzer, he will be kinder to you. And I thought, well, that's logical, you know, but what does it matter? Your focus and your efforts should be on making your company better, not talking to a dirt sheet so they can make you look better. I just don't get it. I never
be careful saying that. If you're nice to him, you'll get more favorable reviews. I insinuated something once and they came after me.
You did?
Yeah, there's a certain amount of folks who just hate listening to our podcast, Tony. They hate you, they hate me, but they listen every week.
Wow.
And they run and they click and talk their shit on social media, and I just mute it one time and I never see it again.
Yeah. Well, I don't mute, I block.
Yeah, but you know, that just gives them the satisfaction.
It gives me one too. Yeah, I get that. But still, I just
it doesn't give you one, Tony. You say one time, oh, fuck you, block you, and you don't tell anybody. They go tell all their slapdick friends. You know, Tony Schiavone's got me blocked. Like it's a badge of honor.
I see that. There's just some terrible people out there.
And they're all on Twitter.
All on Twitter. You're a terrible person. If you're raising a young kid, and let's say by age 8 or 9, you realize this is a terrible kid. This is a bad person. He's just wired differently, a bad person. He's going to end up on Twitter because that's where they all are. Well, you know, the flip side of that is that, and I'm serious about this, I've always gotten along with Dave. We give him shit on here, but, you know, Dave and Brian Alvarez and all of us, we all get along.
I message
Wade Keller.
Dave. I'm friends with that. I read the Observer every week.
I subscribe to it. And I'm friends with Wade Keller. I like Wade. Wade and I talk a lot.
Oh, so you're a stooge for Wade.
I don't stooge.
That's not true.
I do not stooge at all. He just asked me, hey, what'd you think of this match? I say it was a great match. Or I think, you know, could have gone better. We just kind of talk as friends. I was on his podcast one time.
How about earlier
good
today before we clicked record. I made sure to make it clear. I want no stooge information. I don't care about these scoops.
No.
I'm not in the scoop business.
If you're looking for scoops, AEW scoops, you ain't gonna get them here. You're not going to get them here because you just don't do stuff like that. You respect your business. And I work pretty closely in the company with a lot of important people. You're not going to hear it here, boys.
Important people like Jeff Jones.
Yes, like Jeff Jones. There's only one Jeff Jones, buddy.
Such a cool guy.
Yeah, he says, you always shit on me on your podcast. I said, well,
we got to have something to talk about.
Why do you think that is, Jeff? Why do you think that is? Yeah. And you know, I
Jeff told me once, if you quit busting my balls, I'd think you were mad at me.
and I was talking about earlier the people that I ride with. I ride with Jeff Jones. He and I drove from LA to Ontario.
Now, isn't it true that when you're making those trips, you sit in Rebel's lap?
No, that's not true.
I know sometimes Rebel sits on other folks' knees, but I hear that when she's hanging out with you, you sit in her lap and she puts her hand up your backside and works you like a puppet. This is the greatest thing in the history of our great sport. That'll certainly put some hands up some butts.
That is not true, but that wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't travel the Rebel. I don't. That's a misnomer. Rebel and I are buddies.
We know we've hashtag spaghetti.
Yeah, we've been friends for quite a while. Britt and I are friends. Serena Deeb and I are friends. I try to, and here's a scoop, okay? I try to be nice to everybody backstage. And here's why. Because these men and women are going out there and busting their ass and doing crazy shit a lot of times to give us a great show. They're putting their bodies on the line to give us a great show because they have a pride in their product. Not every match is great, but I can tell you every match tries to be great. So that's why I'm nice to all of them. I really respect each and every one of them, and I appreciate each and every one of them. And I want it to show. I want them to know that. And when there's some crazy things happen, like let's say a Darby Allin match or a Jeff Hardy match or the Lights Out match with Britt and Thunder Rosa, I go to them afterwards and thank them for putting their body on the line for a show. I basically say it. Thank you very much for sacrificing your body to give us a great show. And I genuinely like everybody that we work with. I really do. And I want them to know that I appreciate them. I think that's important. I think that's important in any, boy, I'm getting really deep into some shit here, but I think that's important in anything you do to let people that you work with, that are your family members, that are your friends, that you appreciate them. It goes a long, long way. And that's why when I meet you as a fan, if you're in line to see me, if you're going to see me at StarCast, I try to genuinely thank you for coming out and seeing me.
Yeah.
So I try to be genuine with the fans. So, and I just think it's important that you try to be a good person, a nice person. And there's a little life hack for you fucking pieces of shit on Twitter. Okay. Why don't you start trying to be nice to somebody? How about that? Is that so difficult? Okay. Where were we here?
Well, we were going to send our condolences to Allison and Lex, who recently lost Mark Nielsen, friend of the show.
Right.
Big member of our group chat. You've hung out with Mark 100 times at my house.
And Allison too. Allison at StarCast.
StarCast and Mark and Allison were synonymous. Mark and Allison ran our info desk. Mark actually named StarCast. It was his idea. And all these years later, 9 years after we first became friends, and he joined the group chat, or we created the group chat together and whatnot. He passed away in his sleep in late May. And I guess maybe he had a heart attack. I'm not sure. I guess it really matters. I just know he's gone way too soon. And he tweeted something out a couple of days, maybe the day before he passed away, about time being our most valuable resource. And then of course he passed away the next freaking day.
Wow.
But we'll miss Mark. You know, our group chat is forever renamed. And of course, Starcast and all that we're doing are going to be dedicated to him. And we just dropped a new title chase where we broke down the best belt TNA ever had when they left the NWA and sort of created their own world title. I'm lucky enough to be in possession of that. And Mark was a big part of that episode, and a big fan of TNA and a really prolific belt collector, but he was the ultimate kayfabe guy. You know, I think a lot of people who listen to this know that Dan Lambert has one of the biggest belt collections in the world.
Right.
I think Mark Nielsen actually has more than double, but he never let anybody know.
Wow.
And that's how we got along so well. He loved wrestling, and he loved independent wrestling, and he loved AEW, and he loved women's wrestling. And boy, he loved him some Allison. He loves him some Lex. And now Allison and Lex are going to try to pick up the pieces and move on. But man, it's a reminder that tomorrow is not promised, and time is our most valuable resource. And let's make the most of our time here and have as much fun as we can, and then make the most of it. But I got to say, man, it's a morbid conversation, but if I'm going to going in your sleep is about as good as it gets. So
yeah,
I hope Mark is collecting something else right now.
Yeah. You're right about that. And do what Mark always did, and Allison. There's a sign back here. I kind of got the door open, but there's a sign that I found. I don't know where I found it. It says, work hard and be nice to people.
Yeah.
Be nice to people. Okay. Be nice to people. And if you can't be nice to people, get out of the fucking way, so the nice people can prosper. And Mark was one of those nice people.
Yes, he was.
Alice and I are big Yankees fans, and we talk about the Yankees a lot. I send her a text, and I really feel for them. And Starcast, named by Mark Nielsen, will go on.
Yes, it will.
These two guys are having a pretty fucking look at this, man.
I mean, that's the thing. It is a good match. I mean, it's 2.25 stars according to Meltzer.
Right.
He would say the announcers didn't do a good job of getting the drama over, as Ming being so close to the ropes yet so far, nor getting the tap over. Actually, they didn't see it until the replay.
Wow.
Both men went out on a stretcher after the match to sell its brutality, which was kind of silly because neither appeared to take more than the usual beating. Let's track it here.
You can see it if you look right there on your monitor.
Well, I mean, I can't talk from my vantage point on my monitor.
I guarantee you, Chris Benoit, when he went in there, he started to work on that arm, and he's got that thing a little limp. And every time, Tony, as you said, he goes for this thing, he tags that arm just a little bit. Now he might not be able to reach that rope out there. Nick Patrick right there on top of his game, but
this man won't quit. He won't give up. You know that.
Well, we'll see. I mean, you know, not many people have been able to stay. I don't think anyone has stayed in the crippler crossface this long.
And he's still fighting. He still wants to get to those ropes. He's still thinking about getting up on his feet and going after Benoit.
Guys, think of the matches we have seen on Nitro on Saturday night and on pay-per-views where he has put this on and almost immediately they give up. This is like the third straight time now, and Ming is still in it.
I really don't believe, though, he's had a powerful athlete in this thing like he has right here.
I would agree with that.
You know what I mean? Ming is from the mean streets, and I guarantee you, know, like Brain said, giving up is not at his repetenda.
Just inches away from the ropes, and Nick Patrick got a
Repetenda.
Repetenda.
That's one of his terms. Repetenda.
Dude, I love that so much.
Yeah. Well,
but Tony, forget all that. Look at the fight in this Ming. An average man, well, he would have given up in 2 seconds. You name anybody else would have probably not lasted the first time. He's lasted 3 times in this whole, and he's still fighting it.
Didn't we?
Wow.
That? I mean,
Listen to Brain not putting over the drama of this match.
People to bell. Ming, give it up.
That is unbelievable. Man, let me tell you what. That's a historic moment in big time sports, guys. historic moment. Ming gets up, both men are framed, laid out, thrown on the mat. Now, what position does this put Jimmy Hart in? Well, it puts him in a position to hold to his word here. And Nick Patrick is asking for some assistance. I guess some medical assistance here as well. Ming is face first. The key here was how he had that arm pinned back. Ming was inches away from the ropes, and finally it was over. And Chris Benoit has
Look at the sweat pouring off of Benoit.
Oh, yeah, actually, both of them. Yeah.
They went all out, man.
Yeah.
It was a fun little match, but I do agree. It's like fans just did not take Ming seriously.
And that's a shame because we all did backstage.
100%.
Yeah. Look at all the referees coming out here now, man. Chuck Tache.
Oh, you just remembered his name, huh?
Just remembered his name. Isn't it? I tell you, sometimes you just like, ding.
Yeah. Prevagen.
Yeah. I don't take Prevagen anymore.
No, of course not. Now you take AG1. It's got that mental clarity. You're focused.
Yeah, I don't have to take all those supplements.
Yeah, it's just boom. One scoop, cup of water. Let's go.
Home. Got the stretcher out.
You ever been on a stretcher?
I've not. But I have a feeling before my life is over, I will be.
Well, I think they're going to bump you on AEW if I had to guess.
Nah, I don't think it'll happen.
I was talking to Eddie Kingston the other day, and he said he was going to fuck you up.
Oh, well, he says that every day.
Okay.
Every time backstage.
He said something
how much
over or limping back. I don't know, but it wasn't positive.
Do you know how much better my life is that I've gotten to know Eddie Kingston?
Dude, he's just the fucking coolest guy ever.
He is the coolest guy ever.
The first time I met him, I've been a fan of his since the IWA and CZW days, like,
right.
I don't know, like 03, 04, 05, whatever. But I met him for the first time randomly. He was at a Starcast in the hotel bar. I guess he had been working an independent show.
Yeah.
I was so excited to meet him. I was like, Megan, come here. You got to meet this guy. And turns out he had listened to my pods, and it was like, holy cow, I'm finally meeting Eddie Kingston. And now to see him get his flowers on AEW.
Yeah.
And the world knows how talented he is after years. You know, he's been around for years, and it feels like he just never really got a shake. And now he does. I fucking love wrestling, man. I love Eddie Kingston.
Yeah. Him walking in with that gas can all full of blood.
Unbelievable.
Was that not a zombie moment?
It's out of a movie, bro.
It is.
Like, his shit is so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I just lost my shit. It was such a cool moment.
And, I'm talking more about the Eddie Kingston I know personally, and as well as, as professionally, how much fun I have with him backstage, how real and genuine.
He has a good spirit about him. That's
the
right word for me.
Right. Very good.
And so, here's a replay. Chris Benoit. Look at that tap. That's like a little half-ass tap, but I guess it counts. And again, the tap is not super established, but
there it is.
It does feel like it would be more substantial than that.
Right.
But I didn't think you guys did a bad job getting it over. I think
we did. We did.
Being pretty critical there.
Yeah, we didn't. I don't think we did. It just, there you go. And again, I've often said, any of those guys who write quote unquote dirt sheets or are critical of us, I don't mind criticism, but I don't. But you are more than welcome anytime to come sit at the table with us and announce and try your hand at it.
When we clear the ring here, we're going to take our final little break here.
Okay.
You're getting Ming on the stretcher. There's Doug Dillinger. It's a good thing you guys have those medical personnel around. I was recently watching Botchmania and saw that when MJF had to be stretchered out, he required oxygen to the eyes, which was a new thing that I was asking Megan about, and she's done some research on it.
Yeah.
So maybe if it helps.
Well, it helps clear your eyes out. From what I've been told.
Stretcher Job Jones. Here we go. Ming's so broad, he's holding his own shoulders, and they're about to drop him on these mats, but they made the corner. The mats are hollering. Maybe they can get to the regular aisleway soon, and we should be. Oh, thank goodness. Because if you drop Ming, when he stands up, he's going to fuck you up.
Yeah. Don't drop Ming.
That should be a rule. your number one thing as an EMT, whatever you do, don't drop Ming. He will fuck your shit up. And Tony, right now I'm at 155.02. See a shot of Mean Gene there. And normally we would talk about Mean Gene, but instead let's talk about something Mean Gene would want us to talk about. You ready for this?
Yeah, I guess I'm ready for this.
Talking about Blue Chew.
Oh man, yeah, baby.
If Mean Gene was here now, let me just tell you, he'd have one in his pocket because Mean Gene's a smart man. You see, he knows that confidence takes you far in life. I mean, look how cocky and confident he is. And he's got an old chrome dome. And he wasn't exactly the biggest fella, but you know what he knew? I kick that confidence in when I need to. I can give that hot tag to my gimmick. See, Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. You can take these daddies anytime, day or night. So plan ahead. We'll be ready to do a run in if an opportunity arises. Now, the process is simple. You sign up at bluechew.com. You consult with one of their licensed medical providers. And once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And here's the best part. It's all done online. So there's no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA, prepared and shipped directly to your door, all in a discreet package. But there won't be anything discreet about your package.
Yikes.
Tony, I think we got a special offer for them right now, don't we?
Yes, try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code WHW at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's all. That's bluechew.com, promo code WHW to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And as always, we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast because we come to you each week on What Happened When from the Blue Chew Studios.
Let's jump to it. We're at 1 hour, 55 minutes, 1 second. In 3, 2, 1, play.
Good bash in Moline, Illinois. I wanted to pick this. Oh my goodness. Did we get a shot of that? I hate to interrupt this, but Ming has just fallen off the gurney.
Oh God.
This is incredible. Here's a man that we have never seen carried out before. Paramedics are there. Apparently, he's in tremendous pain. He is down on the floor.
We just,
we talked earlier about a return death match. What is a return death match? Well, I think we saw it here tonight between Benoit and Ming. This one was really a shootout. But I got him back at a gurney. Dusty, Bobby Heenan, Tony, you guys have seen a lot of action over the years, but this one has got to stack up as one of the most brutal nights I have ever seen in the history of this great sport, at least my coverage of it.
Wow.
I do want to say a happy Father's Day to everybody out there watching us tonight for the Great American Bash. And attention hotline fans, a lot of the news that I get backstage, I pass along to you. Right now, there is a rumor afloat back in the locker room, back in the staging area, that a man is going to show up tomorrow night in Chicago for Nitro, WCW Monday Nitro, a man that has had tremendous problems with his current organization. This man will be in Chicago tomorrow night. We will tell you, however.
Man, this is the second time they've done the Sean Tees. That's crazy.
It's 1-900-909-9900. Call right now. It's the Great American Bash. We're live in the Quad Cities. Don't go away. Tremendous action right here.
I mean, that's 2 hotline plugs. Oh my gosh. Look at this.
It's WCW's Bash at the Beach. Yeah, right.
Lord Hogan, the newest bad boy with the NWO, Dennis Rodman.
They don't know what was going to hit them.
Are going to crash the Bash.
This duo in the world of professional wrestling is coming their way.
WCW's Bash at the Beach.
Sunday, July 13th, live and only on pay-per-view. Call your cable or satellite company to order now.
What'd you think of those old pay-per-view commercials?
They all sucked. That one had a little bit more substance to it because they promoted Dennis Rodman going to be there. Whether he actually was there or not, I don't remember. But normally those pay-per-view events sold fucking nothing. Anyway, I wanted to ask you, do you know, I never knew the numbers, but one would think that teasing the Shawn Michaels thing, which is what we did, would bring us a lot of calls. Did that, and of course, Gene
he was a participant, so he was pushing hard.
Right, because he got a slice of it.
He got a piece.
Are there ever numbers? You talked to Eric. Did that do well?
Yeah, there were times it did really well.
Yeah. Okay. Like what? Did they ever thought a number like
Hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
a year?
I'm not
Okay.
going to say millions. I mean, maybe, but I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's pretty decent.
Okay.
I just want to remind everybody what happened. Sean's 31 years old and he cussed out McMahon saying something like, "I'll never work for your fucking ass again," when he left the Hartford Civic Center about a half hour before Raw on June 9th.
Okay.
As a reminder, the day after this, like one day later, you guys were in Boston, had a huge Monday Nitro.
I remember it well.
It's one of the biggest ever. Actually, Eric Bischoff and I just watched it. Just a phenomenal show. It's the one where DDP hooked Sting up and took him up to the, or Sting hooked DDP up and took him up to the rafters to close the show.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm saying all that to say afterwards, that's where Piper and Nash got in a fight. So Sean and Brett get in a fight on a Monday, and 7 days later, Nash and Piper get on a fight on a Monday.
Wow.
Same calendar. I mean, just a week later. Bam.
Right.
Is that crazy?
Oh man, that is crazy. And what I remember about the Boston show is Lois was with us. I've told the story many times. Karen Tenay was with us, and we ran out to get to the car. It was like an alley between that ran to the left of the Fleet Center back then. And we ran, and Lee Marshall was driving. He couldn't find the keys, couldn't find his car, and Heenan was freaking out. And we got in the car, and I sat in the back with Lois on my lap. Tenay sat in the back with Karen on his lap. Lee drove, and riding shotgun was Heenan, and the fans came rushing out. Heenan was pissed off anyway. We couldn't find the car because he wanted to leave. And the fans started screaming his name and banging on the car. And Heenan said, "You guys don't understand. These fans, if they get at us, they're really going to hurt us. We need to get out of here." And he was freaking out. And Lois whispered, "Is he always like this on the road?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's kind of high strung, trying to get out of the building." Isn't it amazing that that's what I remember from the Fleet Center?
Yes.
And I don't remember Sting and DDP being hooked up. But it was a great show. I remember that. And I remember thinking, man, here we are in Boston, one of the strongholds of the WWF. And we're doing big business. We're doing things correctly. Is this his mom and dad?
Oh, is that what they're saying here?
I don't know if they are or not. I mean,
Son in action.
Yes.
Closer here than on the gridiron, I can tell you that. It's going to stay in the stands there, but there you go. Second man in the ring, disadvantage, and he paid for it. And now, look how Steve McMichael is going for the knee here, guys.
Well, he's got that horseman mentality.
Oh, they're chanting for Mongo. Meltzer would say, with the exception of people like Owen Hart, Hiroshi Hase, and Jun Akiyama, all of whom have put in far more time for training in pro wrestling, I don't know that I've ever seen such a natural from his third match as Greene. Due to his age and the fact he's probably never going to be a full-time wrestler, he'll surely never be a wrestler before the aforementioned three turned out to be, but he is amazing given that he's only had a few weeks of total training time. This was only his third pro match, and McMichael is hardly the great worker that Flair or Arn Anderson were to carry him. But they did a spot where McMichael started yelling at Greene's mother, who then clocked him with her purse. Speaking of Greene, has anyone ever found his wife? Remember, she just disappeared last July at the Bash of the Beach, and nobody's seen her since. I think she fell off the roof with the Giant or something.
Wow.
This was a totally decent match, ending when Jeff Jarrett came out to hit Greene with the briefcase, but Greene pulled McMichael into the path of the briefcase, and McMichael got nailed and pinned. After the match, Deborah was yelling at Jarrett for screwing up, and the announcers were questioning why, after Jarrett screwed up, that he walked away without helping McMichael. 2 stars.
Well, 2 stars. It's not bad. And he's right. Kevin was a freaking natural. I'm amazed that he gave a Mongo match 2 stars at least, aren't you?
A tilt-a-whirl backbreaker with Kevin Greene and Mongo. That, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. There you go. Who's the one that really doesn't like Mongo as a wrestler? It's Matt Coon, right?
Yeah, Matt Coon.
Yeah.
I'm sure right now he would tell Mongo, "You're fine. You're breathing."
Yeah.
Can't believe that's what he said to you as you were
Yeah, it isn't amazing.
choking to death.
I'm choking to death, and he's laying on the. He's not sitting up. He's laying on the couch like a
Rolled out,
like a freaking
lax.
slug.
Yes.
And he said, "It's okay. You're breathing. You may be making a noise, and you may be panicking right now, which I was. But he said you're breathing. You're not turning blue, so you're fine. Just settle down." And I kind of looking at him, go, "What a fucking piece of shit!" Laying on the couch.
I don't know why that's funny, but it is.
And I found out, the area of there's mom and dad, man. Look at mom. She's genuinely in it, man.
Yeah.
And I discovered without giving, saying exactly where he lives, but in the area where he lives, Matt Coon lives in a very posh area.
I just find that hard to believe.
It's a very, very high rent district. Okay. So he's making money somewhere. And I would think maybe he's making money from us. So I think maybe someone needs to do a little accounting to make sure that he's getting his fair share. Okay. I mean, you could look at him laying on the couch and say, well, he needs a little bit more money this month because it looks like he's not doing well, but he is. Okay. I mean, Matt Coon pulled through terrible surgery, right?
Yeah.
And he's okay. He's kind of like our own Ric Flair. You think he's gone, but he's not. He kicks out. So, and we'll see how Flair kicks out coming up at the end of July.
He's going to kick out, brother.
Yeah, I saw we talked about it earlier. We saw the slam from the top from Jay Lethal, and I went, "Wow!"
I was nervous as a motherfucker.
But you were there, right?
I was like, "Rick, we don't have to do. No, Rick, don't do this. Hey,
Yeah.
Jay, let's not do this. We don't have to do it." And eventually, Rick, fuck you, I'm doing it. Shut up. Okay.
Hey, do you like Tampa?
Oh, I love Tampa.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if the audio picked it up, but as soon as Rick hits, he goes, "Fuck yeah!" He was so excited to get thrown off the top.
That's good.
Then I was like, "Can we promise we won't do that again?"
Yeah.
It's not necessary.
No, it's not necessary, but you know how he is.
Look at the athleticism of Kevin Greene.
I know, man. Absolutely, I know. Terrible tragedy. We lost him too soon.
Yeah, it's a tragedy that Mongo's
is
suffering with ALS right now. My goodness, man.
I know. You just never know in your life, that's why you need to make most of the time that you can.
Oh, look at her trying to trick. Yeah. She's a dirty cheater.
On here, what happened? Well, she was talking about like her ankle was hurt and him being a gentleman, I believe it was, that it was.
Boy, how about the fake out there by Kevin Greene?
Mm-hmm.
This is way better than it has any business being.
Well said. I think about this match. Really?
Well, let me give you this for context. I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to remind you this. Kevin Greene and Steve McMichael. Remember the rating I gave it, or Meltzer gave it?
2 stars.
Next up is Scott Hall and Kevin Nash taking on Ric Flair and Roddy Piper. You want to guess what he gives that one?
3.5.
2.25.
Oh, okay.
So Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Ric Flair, and Roddy Piper got a 1/4 star more. What we see right here. That's crazy, dude.
That's interesting.
Anyway, I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying?
What I think about this match.
Real nifty fight, y'all, on Hood. Or should I say, real sporty cribs coming this week on Hood.
Can't get enough of that. And when I saw in one of our venues, okay, someone had a sign up and went, Schiavone, no jumper. It really popped me.
I love it so much.
I do too. I can't get enough of Crip Mac, buddy.
That ought to do it. Here we go.
1, 2, yes, 3. Wow.
Fans responded too.
What's he living about? You heard what he said. He may have hit it, but then he didn't roll in to help his partner. And I know he hit the wrong man, but then he just stood on the outside.
And next up, a big tag match, man. And just remember, this is one day before the fight. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Kevin's mom was genuinely worried about in this match.
What do you have? Well, why don't we look at it again?
He could have, you know what, Meltzer, he could have been a good pro wrestler.
Oh, for sure.
Thinking about it, if he would have worked a lot of matches and had a chance to work in the ring, and he did, but with Ric Flair on a regular basis. Good timing there too for him.
Great
to pull Mongo down.
This has been a good pay-per-view so far. I don't know why people are saying this thumbs in the middle. Maybe it doesn't have enough star power, but that was way better than I had any business being. But you're going to get so much star power on the next one, dude. You know, Hall, Nash, Flair, Piper, and then a really fun main event with Savage and DDP.
Hey, I want to say something completely unrelated to wrestling because I know you're a big football fan.
Yes, sir. I like football.
Yeah,
Sure
I had a chance when we went to Vegas and to LA to see the new stadiums. Oh, wait a minute. Let's listen into this.
Oh, here we go.
On the knee, you know, the ice pack has been taken off. They need to get her. Yeah, they need to get her out of here. I mean, if she needs major reconstructive surgery, you're talking about not being able to compete. Of course, I know her career's over, but that'll put you down for 8 months.
Wow. There you go.
Man, it's a moment.
Yeah. So anyway, I go to Vegas and I see Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play. And then we go to LA and right by the Forum there, just right across the street is I think it's SoFi Stadium.
That's right.
Where the Rams and Chargers play.
Yep.
Amazing stadiums from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, amazing. It's to the point to where I want to go see a game in those stadiums. Just wow. Absolutely wow. And I think I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go to some a bunch of NFL games this year. I'm going to obviously go to some Jaguar games. I'm going to go opening day, home opener, and I'm going to go see the Cardinals play with my buddy Steve Keim, the general manager.
How cool are these crew? Is this crew right here?
Let's make no bones about what's going on here. Fans, many of you know it as well as we do. You are looking at athletes making their way in. Who will finish athletes coming in a little bit later on.
Want to be cool.
We're not talking about don't like each other. We're talking about hate each other. There have been fights in the ring between these men, out of the ring that occurred last week with these men. This has been a brutal war that will culminate right here at the Great American Bash. It's more than just tradition against WCW. It is personal.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about, that we saw those fights so close together in both WWF and WCW. And you hear you talking about it here that, hey, there's been fights in the ring, out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be their last piece of business together, though. They're going to get through this. Of course, this trio that we just saw come out actually main evented against who's coming out now and Kevin Greene the prior month in Charlotte for Ric Flair's return. And fans loved it. Everybody went home happy, but there was a lot of back and forth about should Waltman be in it and who's going over and what's the finish. And then it bubbled over after that incredible Monday Night Raw. And now this. You mistakenly said earlier that Boston was the next day. Boston was the week before. So
Okay.
Boston was the previous Monday. So the fight and the DDP, all of that stuff was on the go home edition of Nitro for this show, which, by the way, is one of the best and certainly the biggest Nitro ever at the time. It set a gate record for WCW. It set an attendance record for WCW. And it was just a random, regular ass Monday. And we just covered it this past Monday with Eric Bischoff over on 83 Weeks. So go relive that one if you haven't already. That'll get you ready for this one as we see Flair waiting halfway down the aisle for Roddy Piper. He doesn't want to go into a 3-on-1 situation. That wouldn't be logical. And Piper gets the big star treatment coming out last.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess this is more probably WWF territory, the mark of the quad, rather than Jim Crockett, right?
Sure it is. Let's say something about the entranceway here. The flags, the bunnings, the Great American Bash, the spark. It looks pretty cool. It's a good rampway. Well done for the Great American Bash to celebrate our country's birthday.
No doubt about it. Let's track it here. Tension's building.
For both teams, if you don't like the NWO, that's fine. Two great athletes hold the World Tag Team titles. That's Hall and Nash. Two great icon athletes won them. That's really what it's all about here tonight at the Great American Bash.
And they'll do anything they can to hold on to those titles. And Flair and Piper will do anything they can to take it from them. Flair has been the member of the World Tag Team Champions on many occasions.
You think Hollywood has got this one tuned in if he's not here?
I'm sure he does. And that's a good point. If he's not here.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Has anybody seen this one? I haven't been looking for it. I haven't either. And now the sight game begins. The mind games begin. Ric Flair has taken a numerous amount of beatings at the hands of the Wolfpack, and that was while Piper was out shooting his new action-adventure movie. Now that Piper is back, well, during that time, the Wolfpack tried to pull them apart by saying that, well, Piper.
Doesn't this just feel like a big main event? I mean, I know it's not the main event, but it feels big.
Yeah, yes. You're talking about NWO being big and being over this time, and Flair and Piper, two of the great stars. I think you can go back on Peacock here and watch some Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. It only goes back so far, right? Because a lot of those tapes were destroyed, unfortunately. But you can go back on Peacock and watch in the early 80s the angle between Piper and Flair for the U.S. title when Piper was a heel and Flair was a babyface. It's some good stuff. And I suggest you go back and watch that. Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. Flair and Piper. Great interviews. So yeah, legendary performers here, and obviously you're looking at really two of the greatest workers ever. I'm really, Scott Hall is, there's not many people in Ric Flair's class, but Scott Hall could do some stuff, man. I still say he has the best working punch ever that I've ever seen. And damn it.
You think it's better than Jerry Lawler's?
I probably so, because I haven't seen that much of Jerry Lawler.
That's a shame.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen, watch this. Well, I blocked it. The most I've seen of Lawler is his announcing instead of his working. So.
You didn't see any, you've never seen a match?
Not as many as I've seen Scott Hall to be able to.
Okay, that's fair.
To be able to compare them. But yeah, I've seen these matches.
Fair enough.
Scott Hall. Boom.
The big tag for the big man.
Yeah.
Got him here.
Boom. Is Kevin coming to Starcast?
You know what? He's debuting a new podcast. I think it comes out in July with Sean Oliver of Kayfabe Commentaries. They're calling it Click This. And they'll both be on hand with us on Sunday.
Wow. Well, the Conrad Thompson Empire expands. Third most powerful man in wrestling.
I don't know what all that means.
I do. And yes, you know what it means as well. Look at Flair, man, calling spots while he's on the floor there or on the mat.
Oh, that drives him down right on that back and that hip.
He's got to tag Piper. Piper's fresh. He hasn't been in there yet.
Yeah, but he's in no. Whoa, 2 hit. He's not in a situation, Brady, where he can make that tag right out there in the middle of the ring. A little more over towards him is where he needs to be, and you're so right. When they're strutting around here, he needs to work his way towards you. Flair in the numerous hours that he has been, the long matches that he's been in is not one to take early. So I'm not really concerned about that situation. But the more punishment he takes, they're going to have one man with a lot of beating put on him like they're doing right here. One fresh man. That ain't good. 2 fresh men will beat one man that's been beaten down. 2 fresh men will beat one fresh man. That's it. That's all. I laid it out there. Good.
Isn't that a great analysis? 2 fresh men will beat 1 fresh man. That's it. I laid it out.
In the middle of all this, if you get a chance to notice Brian Hildebrand, how good of a referee he is.
So good.
So smooth. And just, it looked like he was always in position when he needed to be, and he was always out of position when he needed to be. It just, another tragedy.
Oh, and here comes Piper. See what happens.
Roddy Piper is in. Deal on him now. Deal on him, baby. He decks Hall. Sends Nash down. Oh, my. There's another one. Got it both. Roddy Piper, one of the dirtiest fighters ever. He knows all the moves. Sleeper. He's going to have that sleeper on. That's what he used to be. Twice. He's that night. He could be a world tag team champion in a matter of moments. But the referee is trying to get Kevin Nash out. Scott Hall picks up Piper. And that will break the sleeper.
It took its toll, though. I tell you, that's what they
You're
needed
right.
to
It
do.
sure did.
They needed to get one of them down, and they did right here.
And Flair's chomping at the bit.
Boy, the fans are into this one.
Yeah, man.
Man, it's amazing to see how different they respond from this match to that one.
Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why it would be 2.25 stars. I think it's much better than that. At least it seems from the fan reaction, which, by the way, is not heat. It's called fan reaction. Flair, as he's grabbing Brian Hildebrand, Flair is talking to him, calling spot. Boom.
Big one for Waltman. Look at everybody sticking out.
Look at this. Flair is fighting 6 outside of the ring.
But I tell you what, Piper's laid in the middle of that ring and a lot of serious injuries.
I think Flair's forgotten what match he's in. Well, and Piper's the legal man. And Piper's down. Almost down.
Well, there ain't nobody there for Piper to tag. I guarantee you that much.
Where the heck did Flair go? He's got his sights set on 6.
Flair's gone, bro.
Man, there's some good drama in this match. Piper kicks out.
Reaching way down and grabbing a hold of it. Nobody home. There ain't nobody home.
Nobody home to make a tag. Piper, I don't think he realizes no one is there yet. Once he gets to his feet and looks that way, he'll realize he's standing up. There he turns. Now he sees that there is nobody home.
Where's Ric Flair?
Oh, man. Big, massive knee lift. But Piper is a fighter. Piper's fighting for all he's worth. He's been fighting all his life since he's 15 years old in this sport. He's not going to stop now. There he goes. Come on, baby. Got the deal on him. Nash holding, just pounding down. And Piper. Oh, man. It is up to the look at Piper.
Them shots took its toll right there. This big man, what an athlete he is. No Flair.
No Flair at all.
No 6. Vacant entrance. Now he's firing back once again. Big knee. Nobody in the corner. Reach up to tag.
He knows it now, Dream. He's going to be in for the fight of his life and be double teamed.
Bad place to be.
Rowdy,
What?
I've never seen.
What
are we
thinking?
I'm loving this. I'm loving the drama of it, and I don't get why. I don't get why it got such a low rating. Maybe I'm putting too much stock in the rating.
Yeah.
And worrying too much about it. But for sheer drama, where's Flair? And he's looking to make a tag, and Piper's fighting on his own against these two. And look at it, say, come on, give me more. In reality, if you try to, Flair would have come back unless, he slipped on a banana peel in the back or something like that. I don't know why he would leave Piper, but I guess is this the start of a Flair Piper angle? I don't know. But what I'm saying is that maybe not the greatest work in the world as far as in-ring work, not on the level of Ultimo Dragon and Psychosis, but the drama here and the story is really damn good.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And I love, we all love wrestling. We all love great matches. We all love seeing spectacular high moves, but we love a story better. A good story is better than a good wrestling match, I think. And of course, you got to have a good wrestling match to help move the story forward, because that's what it's all about. But we've got a good story going on here. NWO, they've come in, they're a year later, less than a year later, they've taken over everything. Scott Hall goes through and says, survey says, you
All
the
that
good
shit.
guys are
Yeah.
WCW, all that great shit. Now we bring out two of our biggest stars ever in Ric Flair and Roddy Piper. Flair is so pissed off at Six that he goes out and fights him. And now the outsider's edge. And let's see if he comes up. 1, 2, 3, and that's it.
Here's what
Piper.
happened. Meltzer would say Flair chased Six to the back and was never heard from again. They speculated that Flair was jumped by the NWO when he went backstage, but it was ridiculous that they went off the air without an explanation. This left Piper against both men, and a situation like that is an easy heat getter, and this was no different. Blah, blah, blah. They'll probably just do the angle anyway, because either Flair and Piper won't have a program at this point unless it's with each other. 2.25 stars. And by the way, yes, that is correct. They did wind up working together. And Meltzer would even say the original plan was for Flair and Piper to turn on each other at the finish. And it was changed because the company felt too many people knew about it. So they just did that instead. But yeah, they're going to have a match together, and they were supposed to turn on each other, but we changed it because we felt like too many people knew. What do you think of that? That we changed the finish because we don't want fans to feel like they know.
Well, this too many people knew is bullshit.
I agree.
You have no concept of how many people watch wrestling. The same thing happens today. I think a lot of times, and I'm talking about all the companies in wrestling, cater to the people that are on social media online. That's wrong. You got to look at that, take a sample of that, and think about it. But man, there's a lot of fans who just don't give a shit, And it's no, wrong. Absolutely wrong. But a good story nonetheless. And so we got Piper out there soaking it in. Wow. One of the great improvisational interviewers of all time. Maybe the best. Depends on who you say, who you feel. Flair, Dusty, Piper, Cornette, Arn Anderson. There you go. The Rock.
In that situation. And now the outsiders have Harlem Heat. We go to Mike.
Okay.
All right. I'll let you do the introductions because I know you hate this.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Quad Cities. Ladies and gentlemen, do you remember the Rockford Peaches? Do you remember League of Their Own? Well, it was about this area of the world right now. That's right, the Rockford Peaches were really a fantasy team, but the story was real. And that's right, it became one of the great baseball movies of all time. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our main event. It is going to feature the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Randy Poffo was in the Cardinals organization for a time. And Diamond Dallas Page never did play baseball, but had he wanted to play baseball, we all know he probably would have been one of the best baseball players of all time because he puts his effort into everything he does. Bring on the pyro. Thank you. And now coming to the ring. Wait a minute. Coming to the ring. We go dark. Don't go dark. I want everybody to see my white jacket. Please bring the lights back on. Is Malachi Black coming in? We don't know. Please bring the lights back on. Is Brody King? Maybe Buddy Matthews. Somebody bring the fucking lights back on. That's too dark for too long. Whew. There we go. I want people to see my white jacket. And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring from, where is he? I'm standing here too long. Let's get to it. 3, 2, 1, cue the music. That's right. I can be a ring announcer and I can be a director. Oh, here comes Miss Elizabeth. And that means, oh yeah, the Macho Man is on his way.
Man.
He was cool, wasn't he?
Dude, he just has such a presence.
Yeah. Just his motions, the way he snapped his head around. Just look at the small things he did. The struts. Just the way he held himself. He pointed that, said, Macho Man is pointed that sign. That's what I'm talking about right there. And then he would. Wow. One of these, when I look at these big shows from back in the 90s, I feel very, very fortunate that I was able to work with these guys. I mean, think about this. I worked with Ric Flair. I worked with Hulk Hogan. I did some announcing, and I think we had it on our Twitter feed, WHW Throwback Thursday. I got to stand there and talk to Bruno Sammartino. Right?
Yeah.
How lucky have I been in my life? Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Bruno Sammartino, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage. And I know I'm leaving out people, I get it, but holy shit a moly.
Where you at on Kimberly Bacon?
I'm for it. She's a beautiful woman.
This is DDP's first main event, and he's not coming down the aisle. He's coming from behind.
Guess who's here? Don't stare at the beauty too long because someone will get you from behind.
Well, you were right.
Michael Buffer clears, and the anything goes. Lights out. Savage, Page 2 is on.
You're kidding, Schiavone, and Savage was watching the beauty. Now he's got the beast in the ring with him.
He went for the diamond. He went for the diamond cutter right there.
I'll tell you what, this could have been over real quick.
Wow, and Savage saw that one coming and took the low road. So here we go. Remember, anything goes. Non-sanctioned. Lights out. Look at that envelope right everywhere. DDP. DDP's hurt. He got up. You see the ribs are taped. He got up and he went back down in a heap. In a high-risk maneuver that time. Savage hit the back of his head, but DDP hit his ribs as well.
Let me ask you this, Brain. Why would he?
The ribs have been such a big part of this story because, as everybody knows, coming off the top rope, Macho Man, he's just going to land on your ass, and tells a great story of not only that, but then you keep it going with the crutches and him coming out taped up, him being DDP. Really adds to the drama, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's just a case of a guy who knows what he's doing in the ring.
Meltzer would call this a wild false count anywhere lights out match. He says it was a great, smartly worked brawl. One thing watching this show is that when it comes to timing of when is the right point to do a move, that Page and Dragon are almost perfect. Page came through the crowd as everyone was distracted by Kimberly. He had his ribs taped from the nitro angle and did a pescado, but sold his own ribs. They're going to wind up brawling everywhere, which is really great stuff. You're even going to see a referee take a pile driver, I think. Meltzer would say the show immediately went off the air after the pinfall. As it appeared, this match went long as they were working on borrowed time, 3 3/4 stars.
Okay.
They go 16 minutes, 56 seconds. But this is a big time moment for DDP.
Yeah.
Big time match.
And well deserved.
Yeah, for sure, dude. What does that mean?
That means people are like, won't let me go.
What do you mean they won't let you go?
Well, the day before we go to, I'm leaving for TV tonight.
Yeah.
There's a lot of texts. That was my text tone.
You know what? I lied. I was wrong. These guys main evented 2 months prior at Spring Stampede in April. So this is in fact his first Great American Bash main event. But he went on last in April. Again, though, with Savage.
Right. Yeah, well, I think I mentioned that this is Savage Page 2.
Yeah, for sure.
Part 2, yeah. Here we go. Look, the security in the red tops, they have no idea what to do here.
About what?
Well, I mean, just they didn't expect this, right? Look at them. They're like, holy shit. I guess we're going to hold the fans back, and I guess they know what they're doing. Oh, we had security out there. You could see they're ready.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's got that crutch.
So
waiting on Savage to come back in the building.
Yeah, this ought to be good. Yep, you're not kidding. Oh, my. See, sir. Yeah, welcome back to the arena. Oh, I'm telling you what, that was bad enough.
Okay, so question here. Was that crutch planted, or did he take it away from a person that needed it? Here, you can use only one crutch. Boom. Man.
Next, you're going to want to know if that was makeup on Cody's pec or if it was real.
No, I would never say that. We know what it was. It was real. Jesus. Was that someone said that it's as damaged as it could be, so you might as well go ahead and work? You couldn't hurt it any worse. Did you hear that?
I don't know all the particulars there. I just know I heard the rumors on Sunday morning. I texted Cody and I said, "Hey man, you all right?" And he replied, "Just a scratch." He made a joke about, no way I'm missing this match.
Yeah, he's tough.
But when he removed that damn jacket, the big reveal, it was.
Right. He's a tough kid, buddy. Legit.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, legit tough. His daddy would be proud of him. Well, he was proud of both his sons.
Of course.
And of Teal. Good kids. Macho stumbles into the ring. That's cool. Just a little thing to show how much.
Himself into the ring with his, what's this? Well, it's anything goes. It's either sugar or salt or powder or something that
Lime
could
could be
be
lime.
in it.
Could be lime.
And the lady brought it.
Could be lie.
Oh man! Whoa! Oh man! Blinding DDP, and I don't know what that was, but it broke. It broke. You better believe it did. There could have been a hubcap. I don't think a hubcap would have shattered like that.
I do. When Savage swings at a DDP.
Both men are down.
I don't know, man. This feels fun, but it still feels like that other match. I don't know. It felt like a bigger.
What are you saying?
I don't know, but it feels like the Flair Piper match
was bigger.
Even though I'm just saying in terms of the crowd, I understand as far as story and stakes and the actual performance, this is way better. But I am saying it does feel like the crowd was somehow hotter. I'm just wondering in hindsight, and again, I've never booked wrestling. I don't know fuck all about wrestling. Should we have had a quote unquote let me up match between it? Was there too much of an adrenaline dump? I mean, do they love Hall and Nash and Roddy and Piper? They're too emotionally connected for them to have two back to back.
Yeah, no, you're right. We talk about this a lot when we're doing shows, and not only talk about it now, but we talk about it back then. Match placement is so important. I don't know how many times I've heard a wrestler say, "Glad I didn't follow that one."
Okay.
So yeah, no, you're right. A match between them may have helped out a great deal. So put it this way, okay? I don't think the fans would have reacted. Wow, there goes the bump. I don't think the fans. This is equal pile drive him here, Mickey. Mickey's no longer with us.
Yeah, here we go.
When he come in here, when he signed on for this, he's gonna pile drive the referee. Yes, he is. Oh my goodness.
Mickey J, you just took one of the fucking best pile drivers I've seen. Wasn't that a fantastic pile driver for a damn ref?
You damn right it was. Just got to trust the Macho Man and go with it. What was I talking about? Oh, Ultimo Dragon Psychosis wouldn't have had the reaction they had if they were in this spot right after Flair and Piper.
Yeah,
the outsiders. Yeah, so placement is everything. And these guys are working their ass off, but the fans are standing. But you know, maybe when Dallas makes his big comeback here, maybe the fans will be into it. We'll see. But fundamentally, this is a good match.
No doubt.
And it's a great story. And it becomes, we got another referee in, and it becomes this feud of the year. Oh, boy.
Sure.
What's he going to do? Okay.
Mark Curtis out. Oh, boy, hit hard, too. Hit his shoulder first, outside. If you think about this, this is the type of match we had. Down the second win, and the fans are up. Into the corner.
Don't make a mistake. I was just getting ready to say it. Boy, he run right into it. Well, when you start an offense, you got to have some type of plan, a follow-up plan. You running there.
Get out of the way. Get out of the way, Mickey.
Yeah, because he knows he's going up and over.
This is the type of match we asked for. Anything goes.
So he just put his foot in his ass, literally. But you know, he tried to tell him, "Hey, man, I'm coming to you."
Yeah, here we go. Oh my God! Don't
touch it. Come on.
And I'm going to tell you what, that is a low life right there. That's all I can say. We shouldn't even.
Well, we got another referee here now.
Nick Patrick.
Now, Nick Patrick, former member of the NWO, although he's been really doing well lately. Get it back, guys.
Forget her, Savage. That's what I agree with. Get back to the ring. He got his hands on.
Man, this is good stuff, dude.
That one fan trying to protect Kimberly, he's saying, "Right here, hit me right here." Boy, he was pissed off.
He didn't try to physically get involved or try to browbeat him. He tried to calm him down by talking to him.
Oh, they're going to the entrance set. I remember this. I think this is where we see like the barbecue grill, right?
I guess.
Nick Patrick will now, I guess, be the referee.
What the hell is okay? Yeah, it's our
Dignitaries. That's our one of our VIP areas here, and they were having themselves a Great American Bash party.
That'll mess your barbecue up.
Boy, you're not kidding. And here we go, fans. This is the Great American Bash, and hope you enjoy.
Wow, man!
Wow!
Oh, get that barbecue pit. Behind you is a barbecue pit.
Whack him with the Weber.
Oh, man. Well, he's a raggedy now. That's what he needed to do to get him off them ribs.
Picnics like this. One picnic table down.
Yeah, he's got plenty of stuff up there now.
Well,
there you go.
He's found the Weber. Thank goodness. Thank goodness they didn't like the charcoal. Oh my goodness.
If they did, it would have been a Joey Janela match.
This is gonna choke him with it now.
Tony, what do you think Dusty Rhodes' commentary would have sounded like? Hypothetically, let's say that all of a sudden Dusty Rhodes is doing a favor for Brett Lauderdale, and he's going to do commentary, guest commentary for GCW, and he sees Joey Janela getting ready to set up a super kick, and he pours lighter fluid all over his kick pad, and then super kicks the guy, and then still has a flaming foot.
Yeah.
What do you think Dusty would have said?
That's what said. Something like that's some stuff right there. That foot's still on fire. That foot's still on fire. Now this is going to be beyond the bounds of anything that I ever seen of the Repetenda. And that foot, look, watch out. That foot's still on fire. That foot, he kicked him in it, and that foot's still on fire. My God, my mama, I never seen anything like that in my life. Something like that.
Fantastic.
I think he said, look behind you, there's a barbecue pit. Behind you. Hit him with a barbecue pit.
What do you think what do you think Crip Mac would say about a flaming super kick?
No jumper, kid. No jumper, kid. No jumper, kid. No jumper, kid. On hood. On hood. On hood.
You really can't help yourself, can you?
No, I can't. I just like
on hood.
Oh. Hey, man.
By the way, he's selling $25 retweets, $55 tweets, and $555 features.
Wow.
If you're into that.
He will retweet your stuff for a price?
Oh yeah.
Good God, he's a fucking genius.
He's like us, right?
Yes.
He's figured it out.
He's figured it out. He's a freaking genius. Look at this. Cameraman, get the fuck out of here.
Let's take a listen.
8 p.m. on hood. Everybody, go ahead and tap in, Kel Hood. You find me? Features, $200, cuz. With video, $500 on hood. Zoom interviews, $300 on hood. Live interviews, $800 on hood. Phone interviews, cuz. $300 on hood. Everybody tap in. On hood, y'all tap in, cuz. Tap in with 600, cuz. We gonna make shit happen. On hood. These deals is good till July 4th. On hood. Happy early Independence Day. 5 every motherfucking body. On hood. Tap in. Email. CMAC BOOKINGS@gmail.com. On hood.
There you go.
He threw that motherfucking in there, didn't he?
So we hit a diamond cutter, but there's no referee, and here comes Scott Hall. Let's track it.
Okay.
It's the count, guys. 1. Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Nick Patrick was making the count. He stomped him in the back of the head and didn't even see what happened. That's Thunder. Put up in the air. Get on it, baby. You got to fight him out. Picks him up. A drop and a haymaker. Comes down for it again. Go to the double cutter. Tag team title belt. Nails the back of his head. Nick Patrick did not even see what hit him. He was counting the 1, 2, 3 from the diamond cutter. Patrick's still down. He's got him up. Getting ready to get him up here. Scott Hall picks him up. Here's the same move they used when Flair was not around and Papa was the only man in the ring. You almost lost him. Boom. Oh, my goodness. Think about that on top of those injured ribs.
Dragging him out to the center. Macho Man still growls it from that diamond cutter. Look at this now. NWO taking control of this match.
Yeah, taking control of this pay-per-view. If they can win this one. Savage kick the referee.
He went the long way.
I know.
Yeah, it's above
He didn't
the
go where he
elbow
could have went
with
short with it. He went
Oh,
the long way.
referee.
Man, and hit it.
And there's no referee to count it now.
Well, look at this now. Scott Hall moving him over that direction.
One.
Wow.
Two.
Oh, man. Whoa.
We're out of time. For all of us, have a great summer. And thanks for being with us for the great American match. And don't forget Nitro tomorrow night. Wow. The NWO again is shown its domination. Woo.
So there you go, Tony. That's going to do it. That was a fun show, man. I don't know what I expect sometimes when I go watch these back. Some of them age better than others, but
Right.
I don't know. I thought that was pretty good. I feel like it got maybe a bad rap, but I enjoyed it.
I did too. I enjoyed the drama of the Flair match, obviously, and the Flair Piper match, Ultimo Dragon and Psychosis. I loved the Madusa match, and the last match was very, very well done. So yeah, it was a good show. It really, really was a good show, and I think, you know, the ratings on the Observer that were kind of like half and half, really unfounded. But, you know, that's just the way it is. Some people like things, some people don't. Everybody has different taste. Some people just want to shit on everything.
Sure.
Some people want to like everything. So,
Well, unfortunately, it's about that time, Tony. We're going to be back next week talking all things Dusty and Tully as we go back to June 13th, 1987. But as for right now, it looks like it's about that time.
And we've got a new schedule of things that we can buy here on Hood. I'll look at you for $500. For $1,000, I'll look at you and smile. You want me to spit on you? That's $1,500. I'll give you a nod for only $100. And I take PayPal and I take Venmo. Repetenda. We're desperately out of time. See you next week on What Happened When. We come to you Wednesdays on Cumulus. But Mondays, we come to you in our 6th season on
Patreon, patreon.com/WHW Monday. And of course, adfreeshows.com.
On Hood.